Well, good morning, everybody. Ben and Woods, 97.3 The Fan. Gentlemen, if you would do the honors for me as I sit here in Hawaii this morning. I've got two small children asleep. I've got a wife, very attractive, very big-breasted, lying in bed. I can't do it right now. So if you would.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah!
That was a good one.
Anytime you get a walk-off from the San Diego Padres last night, my friends. That was fantastic. Great to be here with you guys. Mahalo, aloha, whatever it is that you're supposed to say. Yeah, man, I am live from Kauai, and this is a trip, and I regret it just instantly. The minute that alarm went off at 2:15 this morning, I am just racked with regret. But the blue pill actually just did open my eyes. So hopefully, we will get this thing going today. Man, it's good to see your faces. I missed you guys. I see tons of tier ones in the chat. Everybody's ready to jam. I don't know how much you can see behind me. It's just it doesn't look like I'm in Hawaii right now. There's no beautiful tropical outlay behind me, but rest assured when I tell you guys, this is paradise here. Paradise. How are you boys?
Oh, we're good, man. We're good.
Good, yeah. We missed you yesterday out at the Salute to Heroes golf tournament. Got to meet Jock Jones for the first time, and Arabian Prince came up and introduced himself to me. He said, "Hi, I'm Arabian," and I said, "Hi, I'm Ben." So that was interesting and definitely different.
I was waiting for Ben to pull the, "Hi, I'm American." I was like, Ben? Not everybody gets your sense of humor.
Why do they call you Arabian Prince? Yeah, that is true. That is true. Well, I'm Woodsy, and I'm live from Kauai, and Paulie Reindel's our executive producer, and Ben Higgins is our friendly neighborhood sports anchor. I'm so out of sorts. I did the whole open wrong, but man, what an excursion 'twas to get out here yesterday. And it starts for me, and you guys are married. I'm sure everyone listening has gone through this. And it could be, I don't think it has to be the wives to do it. I can certainly see husbands doing this as well. What is it with our significant others or our spouses giving a rat's ass about what it is we choose to put in our suitcases? My wife lorded over me. She stood in the room as I would go to my closet and bring things out. Oh, you're bringing that? Oh, why are you bringing that? I'm bringing that. I looked at her. I'm like, I'm 50 years old. I'm 50. I am 50 years old. This is not my first trip. I'm not an invalid. Like you, like I'm not, you don't have to do things for me. Like I know I've been there. I've been to the exact place we're going. I know exactly what I need in this trip. Oh, you're bringing two of those? Why? Why are you bringing two? I'm like, I don't know. 'Cause I'm here for 10 days. That was the first greatest part of all of it, was me having to. Now it's on me, man. I waited too long to pack. You're supposed to pack when she's not in the house, and I could have packed whatever I wanted.
It's all done.
I'm
good.
Pack sandwiches in there. It's all. I'm done. Don't bother looking in it. But she sat over me like almost with a pad and pen, and I've never had program directors that cared that much about our show than she did about what I put in my suitcase.
Was there any underwear count or anything like that to make sure that you had enough to go through? Yeah,
there was full on counting, and it wasn't. I think you should pack more. It was, why are you packing that many shirts? Why are you packing that many shorts? Why are you packing 3 pairs of shoes? You're only going to be doing this. And I go, I'm begging you. Get your butt up off the bed and go into the other room. I'm begging you to go into the other room and just let me pack in peace, because you're messing with my flow right now.
If you had forgotten something, or if you had, was there going to be any consequences? Like you got in the trip and there was something bad that would have happened because you made a mistake packing, possibly?
No, again, this was not oh my gosh, I can't believe you forgot to pack, your flip-flops. This was Why are you packing your flip-flops? Why are you packing those shoes? You won't need those shoes. How many pairs of little socks are you bringing? What are those shoes for? Oh, golf. That's right. Okay. Why are you packing the collared shirt? That's also for golf. You're bringing 2 hats. 1 hat's probably enough. And I just looked at her. I was like, you're making me insane. And if you don't stop this, I'm not going to go. I'm begging you to just let me pack. So we get packed. And, no problem. Get it all dialed in. I'm sure I forgot something or I overpacked something. But, boys, I got to tell you, man, when you're traveling with 2 small kids and you're going across the world, 6.5-hour flight. And, oh, man, they said the radio feed is skipping. Son of a bitch. This is not what I wanted. You guys hear it at all?
I haven't
You sound perfect on our
heard
end. I can't imagine that there's anything
Oh,
wrong. It must be on the
okay,
receiver's end because we're good here.
Okay, good. Levels sound good.
Yeah.
So, you're flying across the world essentially, 6.5-hour flight. It's not, it's not that much. And then we had to connect in Honolulu. Boys, I got to tell you, it couldn't have gone smoother. I mean, it really went really, really smoothly until we landed in the islands, and then that's where it went sideways, real quick. As always happens to me. I'm San Diego's version of Larry David. You guys know that. All I need is for my hair to start falling out. It's true, man. My boys, my 2 angels, Bo and Taylor, were so good. They were so good on the plane. They had their iPads. We played Monopoly, and I played Monopoly on his iPad. It was amazing. We had so much fun. Didn't make a peep. Not a peep. Not even a sound. No, nothing. Pretty chill, big flight, 6.5 hours. There were some babies on there, and you could hear them crying a little bit, and you don't think anything of it, man. You're sympathetic to it. And we touched down, and we get on over to the other terminal where we had to walk 2 terminals away.
The inter-island terminal from the international terminal. Got it.
Yeah, exactly. So it was a bit of a piece. We get over there, and I noticed in the terminal, wow, that kid is crying. Holy cow, that's more than crying. That is, he's having a full-blown temper tantrum. Surely he'll be fine by the time the flight leaves. Surely he will, because he's just getting it out in the terminal here. Well, we start loading up the plane. We are in the last 2 rows. Bo and I on the very last row of the plane. Bo was so excited for his window seat that turned out to be one of those faux window seats.
Oh,
it had
the side of the plane
where the window goes, but there was no window. Yeah, there was an indentation of where the window goes, but there was no window.
Faux for Bo.
So it was faux for Bo. Taylor was looking out into a giant engine. So he was like, oh, all right. Well, anyway, sitting down next to me was it was a family, and the kid was in my row. He was 3 feet from me. If I reached out across the aisle, I could have grabbed him by the throat or something if I wanted to. That's how close he was.
That would
Not
be
that
inappropriate.
I would ever grab a 3-year-old. Right. I could have, I don't know, if I had a hammer, I could have hit him on the head with a hammer. I'm just trying to show you how close I was.
Right.
Right.
You're painting a great picture.
So
I can tell exactly how far away you are now.
Yes, exactly. Choking distance, no problem. So we sit down, and here he goes, dude. And he starts screaming, and he starts having a temper tantrum, the likes of which you would never believe. In fact, so much that I actually sent a little audio over to Paulie.
Oh my God.
He was about 3 years old.
Mm.
And I've been there, man. Both my kids had some tantrums. Benny, I'm sure yours did too at some point. And but that did not stop, man. That went 45 minutes.
Oh my God.
I know sometimes kids can have the ear problems on the plane, but you said he was doing that in the terminal as well. So
he was doing that in the terminal. And again, hey man, it could have come from, they were flying in from another place too, I'm sure. and he could have had an ear infection. I don't know what it was, but here was the couple of interesting parts. So when I say tantrum, I mean full bore, legs kicking up and down, chop, 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 chop. The mother is with him. The dad is sitting right in front of him, and he has his head back on his chair, and his eyes are closed, and he's just looking deeply into the abyss of like, what did I do? I've made a terrible mistake. If I could jump off this plane, I would. You could see it in his eyes. And I texted you guys, and Ben goes, it's always worse when it's your kid than somebody else's. I go, there's no question. I'd much rather it be someone else's kid than my kid. And there was nothing she could do. And there was nothing the dad could do. There was nothing. So here's the funny part. Homeboy has these little Crocs on, and he keeps temper tantruming, and the Crocs would fly over to my seat. Okay. So in a 45-minute flight, I must have handed this lady her Crocs back 15 times.
Why did she keep putting them back on?
It's a great question. Now, here's the best part. Paulie, what's it called? You know, everybody that knows what Crocs are, it has a strap that you can pull back and then slip on, and the strap goes back behind your ankle.
Sport
right?
mode.
That's called sport mode. What's the other mode called? Like slipper mode?
Yeah, I don't know, casual, whatever.
Casual mode, so you just slip them
you
on?
just slide right in, and then, if you're like going to do some more walking than just around the house or something, then, you would like flip it around the back of your heel.
It holds the shoe in place. It's the back of the shoe. So I would go, no problem. I'd pick them up. I'd hand them back to her. She would then put them back on, refuse to put the clasp behind his heel every time. She would keep, and I wanted to at one point reach out and say, you do know that this thing flips back, and then his feet will be snug inside these Crocs, therefore making it harder for him to kick these things off into my face.
Don't tell me how to parent my own child. I know. Exactly, I get to make these decisions. You don't ever want to tell a parent what to do.
So then at one point, and here's where the story gets a little bit dark. And I did not realize this until after the flight. I looked over at one point, and the kid's one eye looked like it was swollen shut. And I go, is this kid sick? I bet that's it. No kid would act this poorly. Well, apparently, dudes, mom had been getting very tired of getting kicked in the face, screamed at, scratched, and hit, and decided to grab homeboy by his face at 3 years old and actually injured him on the plane. Now, again, I didn't see this. My back was turned to them because Bo was laughing and like looking at me going, oh my God. And I'm like, yeah. Let's just continue to play our game. Homeboy really pissed mom off, and mom gave him the like, shut up, like the pinch,
Yeah.
But in the process, now I didn't see it. Some other lady on the plane saw it, walks back to my row and leans over. She goes, are you okay with this? And I looked at her and I go, I've got 2 kids. I've had kids melt down on the plane before. She goes, this is making me very, very uncomfortable. I am so uncomfortable. And I'm like, so in my mind, I'm going, you're uncomfortable because a baby's crying on the plane? Like, this stuff happens all the time. And she's like, then I see her up talking to the flight attendant. And I'm like, I just want to go home. I just want to get to paradise and go. He could say the kid got off with an eye patch. Bro, I'm telling you, I did look over at one point. I went, Apollo Creed just like landed a left in this kid's eye. Dude. It was all swollen and like, I'm like, did I just see a lady beat her child in real time? And I missed it. I missed it entirely. So all of a sudden, the flight attendants are talking to, and the couple, they don't speak English. And so people are coming back and talking to them. And I'm just going, oh God, no, I didn't see anything. I've had screaming kids. It's not a big deal. Please let me off. I just want to get off the plane.
It's everyone in the plane is like, do something about your child. Do something about your child. Do something about your child.
And then
don't do that.
Not that.
Dude, it was the worst. It was the worst, most uncomfortable. And I mean, the dude did not stop, man. And I mean, when they let him down, when we touched down and she pulled that seatbelt off him, he tried to run up the aisle. He was like, I am getting out of here. Bro, it was heavy. It was dark. I'm not, listen, and there are people listening right now going, how dare she? How dare she? And I'm going, I kind of get it. The kid was that bad. It was that loud and obnoxious and crazy. But, it's like I always say, man, I got noise canceling headphones. They're for a reason. It's 2025. Get yourself a pair and get after it, man. But holy smokes, it was wild. But I'll hear that kid's screams in my sleep tonight, man.
You may need life canceling headphones just to block everything out, visually, auditory, just to totally relax at some point.
Well, and you guys know the bit. Paul, you've never been to Hawaii. Ben, you've been to Hawaii a couple times. There is a way that things are done here, and you better fall in line or you're going to have a miserable trip. They work on Hawaii time here.
Island time.
And Hawaii,
yeah.
Island time, yeah. And what that means, Paulie, is I'm under absolutely no pressure or stress to deliver you what you came here for. Absolutely none. Zero. My life continuing in Curb Your Enthusiasm. My beloved mother-in-law shows up to meet us. We did not know she was coming. Thank God. She takes my two kids, and she's like, see you guys later. I'm taking them to the beach. And oh, good. We can get the luggage, go get groceries, all that. Go get the rental car. So we go over to the thing, and we're waiting on the rental car. And we're standing in line. We are the next people up. And on my children, a lady and her husband walk in. They walk in front of us, and she looks at me. She goes, I'm not cutting. I'm not cutting. She goes right up to the front desk and starts talking to the agent. And I go, I'm not cutting. And the husband goes, no, we had a problem with our car and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, that's fine. But you can't say I'm not cutting when you just blew through the line and went to the lady that I was going to go to. That is, in fact, the definition of cutting.
That is cutting. Yeah.
You straight up cut.
But if you've already waited in line once and they, for some reason,
no, Ben, they had been on vacation for a full week. Something happened to their car while they were gallivanting.
This wasn't.
Around
I thought they were
Princeville.
just going out to the parking lot to get their car and you gave us the wrong key or something. That I would say, okay, just go back to the front of the line.
100%. So, dude, I go, okay, well, no, that's cutting. They were at that counter for 50 minutes. You know how I know it was 50 minutes? Which is, that's the definition. You need 5 minutes up there, I'm gonna give you 5 minutes. You need 50 minutes up there, that's a different thing entirely.
Oh, man.
Hannah and I we're standing outside waiting for our Kia Telluride to be brought around the corner. And we were outside for 50 minutes. And like I said, man, they're in nowhere. They're like, yeah, we'll get it to you whenever we get it. And I'm looking at all these cars and I'm like, there's a million cars here. Give me one. We'll do the Mustang. I don't care. Like, just get us in a car. 50 minutes. We finally get it. We go to Safeway. We get our groceries. We get home. Everybody's happy. Get the thing set up. And now we're here this morning. And I'm so happy to be here. I woke up this morning really kicking myself. But I feel great now. Had to get those stories out. But it's been really, really great so far. It's so beautiful here. I posted a picture on Twitter last night. If you saw it, that's the view from my front lanai here, and it is just stunning. And it's early. I'm going to give you that. It's really, really early, but it's going to be a good week. And obviously, that win last night was something special. Being able to watch that and being able to talk about it with my boys this morning, that's what I was looking forward to doing.
And I know that's what a lot of people are here for. We will get into our Padres talk, set the menu for the Tuesday edition of Ben and Woods after a quick check of traffic with Kelly Danick here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Getting reports of a solo vehicle accident on the L Street on-ramp to northbound 5. A little guardrail damage there as well. So emergency crews may have to shut that down to clear that and repair that. That is L Street on-ramp to northbound 5. But fortunately, no other problems around the county this time. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
in any baseball season, there's always, 4 or 5 games I think you end up circling at the end of the year as being particularly entertaining, significant, and last night's fits the bill for the San Diego Padres. We will go through all the highlights, our Padres wrap-up of the dramatic walk-off 7-6 come-from-behind win over the New York Mets last night at Petco Park. Electric atmosphere, as it always is. Here,
what didn't that game have?
it really did have a little bit of everything.
Had everything. Good pitching, bad pitching, defense, grand slams, walk-offs, ejections.
Wonky plays,
terrible umpiring,
weird situational bunting. Like, there's just all kinds of stuff that went down in that game. And you talk about being hard to follow. My God, it was hard to follow at the grocery store and in the car on the way home, and then getting unpacked. And next thing you know, I'm like, man, I've missed. You're gonna have to help fill in a little bit of the color here and there. I got the gist of it. And damn near when Cease gave up the grand slam, we were in the car, and I was so mad I turned it off. And Hannah is the one that made me put it back on 5 minutes later, and I'm so glad she did, because then we roared back and took the lead, or at least tied it, I think, at that point. I was livid. Oh, when that ball went out, I went, that's it for the season. Season's over. I was so mad. It was such a long day.
We will talk all about it. Was it Dylan Cease's last start with the San Diego Padres? Did that affect anything? Did the ball off the head affect anything with the trade deadline coming up just 2 days away? We'll get into all of that coming up in our next hour. We will also hear from the man who called the walk-off winner last night for your San Diego Padres. Jesse Agler will be with us at 8:35 to talk Padres baseball and more. Plus, we'll have our regular features like Don't Do This, Take on Woods, and, of course, the Rhinel Report at some point. Now, you were saying you wanted to do the Rhinel Report earlier for some reason today?
I have a schedule conflict, gentlemen.
You hear this guy?
You have a scheduling conflict at 6:30 a.m. Hawaii time, because that's when the Rhinel Report hits where you are. At 6:30 a.m., you already have a scheduling conflict.
I do, and I will say this: I should be absolved of any blame for this. It's a Woods family tradition. Okay, when do you want to hear about this?
We can do it when we come back before the Padres wrap up. Are you okay for Don't Do This at 4:20 a.m. your time, or is there another conflict at that point as well? I just want to make sure that we're good here. Very busy in the middle of the night in Kauai, apparently.
I will fill in the blanks, and once you hear it, you'll go, Jesus. All right, makes sense to me.
We'll see about that.
We will get into all of it coming up next. Let's get into our Padres wrap-up and highlights when we come back from our first break. Woods. Island Time Woods. Paulie Rindle, Ben Higgins with you here on a Tuesday morning on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
But first, oh, you got me off guard here. Yeah, we got to talk about Trust and Will, Woods.
You, buddy.
Yeah, you caught me off guard so early in the morning. Well, it's 3:24 Hawaii time, but there's any time you can go to trustandwill.com and get the peace of mind knowing your family is taken care of. If you want to make sure that they are taken care of no matter what happens to you in the future, you fill out some simple questions online. It takes about 20 to 30 minutes, and at the end of the process at trustandwill.com, you will have legal documents, estate documents, either a will or a trust that can really save your family a lot of hassle and even a lot of money potentially when the time comes.
Well, there is our unpaid endorser, our man Dominic, who recently lost a beloved family member, and he and his family are now in probate court. He makes sure to put into the chat every single day, get a trust, folks. It's very, very important. You're gone. Your family is now in court battling for what is rightfully theirs. No. Make sure you get a trust. Go to trustandwill.com. Use the code FAN when you check out, FAN. They're going to give you 20% off plus free shipping of your estate documents as well.
What you get is that peace of mind knowing your family's taken care of and can avoid the long hassles and messy costs of probate court by getting that trust. Again, go to trustandwill.com. Get 20% off with the code FAN at trustandwill.com. We'll be right back.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
I'm looking forward to what will probably be a fairly extended edition of the Padres wrap up here. Highs and lows, a real roller coaster ride of a game last night at Petco Park. But quickly, just Woods, tell us what do you have going on at 6:30 in the morning? You said a family tradition.
Yeah, well, and so I looked at the layout that Paulie has for the show today, and it's pretty standard Tuesday show, and I saw Rhinel Report at 9:35, and I said, hey, if it's not too much trouble, I'd like to move the Rhinel Report up. And the reason that I do is because, well, there's a couple reasons. Ben, I know you hate the Rhinel Report. I like it, and I like to be a part of it every single day. So I thought it best that we move it up to a time when I'm actually going to be live on the air, because at the last segment at 9:35 your time, your old pal Woodsy has to skedaddle. Now, you're going to hear my reasoning and be upset. I'm going to plead ignorance on this one, because in the long-standing Woods tradition, my brother is in town. I don't know if you guys knew that, right? My brother, my
you told us
and
that they were getting to come along on this trip too, which is very cool.
And it's great. They are not staying with us. They are staying down the road in Princeville. My brother really wanted to play golf with me this morning. I have not swung a golf club in about 6 months, so that shouldn't go great. We have an 8 o'clock tee time. He does not have a rental car because his last name is Woods. And he said, he wrote me last night. He goes, hey, what's the deal with tomorrow? Can you pick me up? I am about a mile away, but I can walk if need be. And I go, I'm not going to make you walk, Gary Jr. I'm not going to make you walk to the golf course. I'll come get you for our tee time.
It's a good tactic by him to say, give you the sob story. Like, I guess I can walk. bare feet with my clubs a whole mile.
So we have to rent clubs, which was, you need a little extra time for that. You need a little extra time to check in. You need a little extra. Now I got to go back past the resort to pick him up. I got to bring him back. So I like the Rhinel Report. I'm a big, big fan of it. And I like to be a part of the Rhinel Report. So I would like to, if possible, move it up so that we can do it and I can be a part of it. Unless you say, Ben, if you say, you know what, for once, I'll lock in on the Rhinel Report and I'll just handle it. It's either way you want to handle it, but I'm really trying to help you here.
Well, if you had said anything other than golf, I might be a little annoyed, but I can't really complain about, someone wanting to get to the tee time early, hit some balls and warm up. It's kind of important when you're out heading to the golf course. So, yeah, I will excuse this one.
I figured I would appeal to the one part of your understanding body. That's the one bone in his body.
I do have golf understanding.
If I said to Ben, actually, we got a tee time at this crazy country club, Ben would be like, you don't even have to do the show. Just go play. Have a great time. So, So
now, if you said, I just want to go to the beach or something, I'd say, just wait. It's going to be there in 30 minutes. But
No. So I brought some Ben & Woods balls. I'm ready to seed the golf course again, as I did last time. Yes, reseed the golf course. I'm excited. I'm obviously excited to spend a little time with my bro. I never get to see it, but I did find it crazy that he came to this island without a vehicle. And I think the sticker shock of Kauai, once you get here, you're like, whew, that's an $8 jar of pickles I just bought at the grocery store last night. That is really, really, really something.
You and I were talking last night. I was helping you get all set up in the home office there, and you were telling me about the grocery store, and you spent an exorbitant amount. I said, what the hell did you buy? You're like, literally nothing. Like normal crap that should have been like $200.
We got milk and cereal and sandwich meat and cheese and crackers and some things for the kids. We get up to the front, and the lady's like, yeah, that'll be $415. I'm like, babe, did you get 4 pounds of shrimp and lobsters that I was not aware of in here? I could not believe it. I was like, all right,
all has to be shipped from the mainland. That ain't cheap.
That's right. These kids are eating every morsel of that food, but I digress. I'm ready to talk some Padres baseball. Let's get to the wrap up, as it were. Yeah.
Yep. It's coming up right after Kelly's traffic. Don't go away.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danek.
Got a solo vehicle accident, L Street on-ramp to northbound 5, did a little guardrail damage, so emergency crews had to shut that down to not only clear that accident, but also repair that guardrail. That's L Street on-ramp to northbound 5. Also, some trash debris reported in middle lanes, eastbound 8 before the 15. And watch out for some debris on the Balboa on-ramp to northbound 163. I'm Kelly Danek with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
I love winning, man. I love winning. You hear what I'm saying? It's like better than losing.
Miss any of the Padres win yesterday? Ben and Woods didn't.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've got you covered with all of the highlights.
Oh, yes.
It's the
Padres wrap up.
Brought to you by Hamul Casino Resort. Things are about to get real with the all-new Hamul Casino Resort with gorgeous rooms and exciting new eats and drinks. It gets real this summer at Hamul Casino Resort, the player's place.
I want to go fast, but I want to go slow, and I want to go deep.
First and third, one away, top of the second inning. The ball and a strike to Baby. Cease will deliver, and that's in the air on a line to left field. Johnson backing up. He makes the catch. McNeil will tag and score from third base. A sac fly for Brett Beatty and a 1-0 lead for the Mets here in the second. Merrill leading at first base. Alonso plays behind him. Machado's at second. They run. Bogarts loops it into shallow center. That's down on a base hit. Manny will score. Merrill going to be held as the throw comes in from McNeil. And Xander Bogaerts ties the game. It's 1-1.
Got a little two-out magic for Xander this time around.
Runners go. The payoff pitch is swung on. Sent in the air to deep right field again. Fernando back at the wall. This time he's got no play. A grand slam for Vientos. And the Mets get to cease at the very last moment. 5-1 New York. First extra base hit of the night for the Pods. Runner on second, nobody out. 1-0 to Arise. The pitch, and Luis launches it in the air, deep down the right field line, trying to keep it fair. It's off the screen, and a 2-run homer. Arise with a king of a bat flip as he heads to first base, and just like that, it's 5-3. Machado leading down the line at third. Bogarts from second. 0-1 the pitch. Pronto hits it hard on the ground right side. Alonso falls down, has it behind the back, fields Braziman, and not in time. Feed to the pitcher, not in time. Machado comes in to score, and the Padres are within one. It's 5-4. Trying to erase the Vientos grand slam in the top of this frame. 0-1. Johnson swings, grounds it to the right side. That's into right field and a base hit. Bogarts comes in to score. Cronenworth races to third. And Bryce Johnson with his second hit of the night has tied the game. It's 5-5. Braziman set. And the first pitch to Diaz swung on. That's lifted over Lindor into left field and a base hit. Cronenworth comes in to score. And for the first time tonight, the Padres lead. It's 6-5.
It really comes down to heart, desire, really willingness to win, and this group has it. It's on display almost every night. It's on display at the end of the road trip this last 10 days. And then come back home, and it's so nice to be home. I mean, this ballpark was electric tonight. This place is special. So kudos to the Friar Faithful and the support that we get. That clearly helps a little bit too, but no doubt. But this team's got heart of champions, and they turn it up. They don't give in.
Well, we got a little short there. We only got through the first. We didn't get all the way through the walk-off. We're going to have to get a couple more highlights there at the end of our wrap-up. But, there was plenty of drama in the fifth inning for sure, and we heard it all right there. And the Padres did, of course, end up winning on the another Elias Diaz hit. I guess we're getting confused. Too many Elias Diaz big go-ahead hits in the game last night as they come back after Robert Suarez gives up the home run in the top of the ninth inning to Ronnie Mauricio.
I think it was in there.
I didn't hear it. I think we missed the everyone.
First pitch to Diaz, swung on. That's lifted over Lindor into left field and a base hit. Cronenworth comes in to score, and for the first time tonight, the Padres lead. It's 6-5.
Paulie got hit by the bad label.
I got duped.
That's okay. We can still play it for you here, Paulie, if you can find the.
And Diaz lines it into left field. Here comes Nimmo, has to play it on a hop. Iglesias rounding third. Here's the throw to the plate. No shot. And the Padres walk it off. Elias Diaz took Dylan Cease off the hook in the fifth with an RBI single. And now he takes Suarez off the hook in the ninth as the Pods walk it off on a wild night against the Mets and win it 7-6.
There we go. There's your walk-off winner for Elias Diaz as the Padres do come back from the 4-run deficit to win their third in a row. They can erase their entire 4-game losing streak by winning tonight in Game 2 of the series with a 4-game winning streak. But, Woods, let's start with Dylan Cease's performance. It was, the quintessential 2025 Dylan Cease. He comes out, strikes out the side in the first inning, and you go, all right, he's got it. He has figured it out. And, of course, it just doesn't seem to hold every single start. He looks at times like he is Dylan Cease. He is a dominant Cy Young type pitcher for 2 of the 4 innings or 3 of the 5 innings that he's in. And then the other inning or 2, he runs into problems. Gave up the sacrifice fly in the top of the second to Brett Beatty. That wasn't too bad. That was just a couple of singles, a walk, a single, whatever. But then, of course, after the 5th inning, Mark Vientos, the 2-out grand slam, and he once again trudges off the mound, dejected, like he has so many times this year, coming up, short of what the Padres needed from Dylan Cease this season.
Sorry, we got some audio issues with Woodsy here. I'm trying to get him.
That's all right.
Locked in.
And I will give Dylan Cease some credit. Stayed in the game after taking the 100-mile-an-hour one-hopper by Francisco Lindor in the top of the third off the back of his head. Came back, struck out, I believe, Soto and Pete Alonso, the next 2 batters. So certainly, showed some guttiness and grittiness to stay in that game and try to pitch the Padres, as deep as he can. But no matter what happens to Dylan Cease, it just seems to be, the same story every single time.
It is. I'm honestly kind of confounded on what do you do with a guy that looks pretty like dominant, not even like serviceable, like dominant for the first 3 innings, then has a rough inning, then comes back and looks pretty good. And then it just like with Dylan Cease, when it unravels so fast. Like if you like go get up to go get some water and come back, you're like, how are we down 5? What happened?
It's and there's no way you can like, I mean, you can kind of just guess it's coming, but it's usually preceded by vintage Dylan Cease, his sharp sliders, 100-mile-an-hour fastballs, and then all of a sudden the other team just gets to him, and before you know it, yeah, he's given up the lead, he's given up the game. Fortunately, this time the Padres were able to come right back and get him off the hook with some offense, but is this a guy that you can trust the rest of the season? Is this a guy that any other team is interested in adding to their rotation for a playoff push and potentially postseason starts? I think when you look at the metrics and the numbers, you go, of course. I mean, you know, that those don't usually lie. When you are throwing with that kind of swing and miss, he struck out 8 or 9 batters last night. You know, that's a top of Major League Baseball type arm, 9 strikeouts. And yet, almost every single time, the results tend to be the same. He can't get through the 5th, and he ends up giving up 3 to 5 runs.
Eric in the chat says maybe he should be like a long reliever. That sounds crazy when you're talking about a guy like Dylan Cease, Cy Young candidate, starting pitcher. But I don't know that I disagree with Eric. That might be, like, if they kept him, don't you think you could find a lane for him to be dominant for like 3 innings? I don't know what you do. I don't know what you do with a guy like that. Hello, Woods. Good morning.
Hello.
We were just talking about you.
Yeah. Well, this thing is awesome so far. No, I could kind of get the gist of what you guys were talking about.
What do you do with a Dylan Cease? Like what? Like he's
nothing.
so hard to figure out this year.
Nothing. You can't put him in the bullpen. He walks too many guys. He's way too. I mean, imagine putting him in a Jason Adam role. You'd vomit all over yourself. But the worst. It's just the worst part about Dylan Cease. I was reading a couple of guys, takes last night on Twitter, which again, I don't know that they're gospel. But he is a predictable. It's hard to be predictable when you throw 98, 99 miles an hour. You also throw that slider. But if that slider comes out of the hand and looks like a ball, it's fairly easy for these guys to spit on. He just doesn't get as much swing and miss as a guy with his stuff should get. And he doesn't have that other pitch, right? That cutter that he can bury in on a guy's hands.
But if that's true, how did he strike out 9 guys? I mean, he struck out 9 guys yesterday.
Dude, 100%. So when I say swing and miss, the stuff is there, right? Like he can go up in the zone with a heater, and if you're not ready for 99 up at your eyes or at the letters, he's going to get you. But if it does, his pitches that aren't as competitive are much easier to spot, I guess. I don't know. He's too erratic. He's too erratic to ever move to a bullpen role. And again, a guy like Dylan Cease. So you guys got to fill me in here. I lost service on my phone. And the next thing I know, I look up and the bases were loaded. How did the bases get loaded before the grand slam to Vientos?
Ground ball single, a dribbler off the end of the bat, and a walk, I believe, is how the Mets loaded the bases. I mean, it wasn't hard hit. There wasn't a lot of contact.
Yeah.
I thought the Vientos at bat that ended with the grand slam. There was a McNeil at bat earlier that I thought was kind of telling, though, where Dylan Cease gets ahead, but can't necessarily, a good hitter goes up there and he's looking either fastball or slider, and he just keeps fouling it off. Like, I may not get him, but I will keep working him. And McNeil worked a walk, and eventually with the bases loaded, Vientos, it wasn't a horrible pitch. It was a fastball, 98, 99 on the outside corner, but Vientos was ready for it. He knew he had to come in because there was nowhere to put him. The bases were loaded. He had gone the other way, obviously, in the previous at-bat when Fernando Tatis Jr. robbed him of the home run. Took the same swing, just sent it another 30 feet further where Fernando had no chance to get it. He forced Dylan Cease to come into him, whereas Dylan Cease kind of lost the advantage in that at-bat because he wasn't able to finish him off. The ones that were in the strike zone, he just kind of fouled off. The ones that weren't, he spit on and was able to work the count to 3-2. McNeil did the same thing earlier in the game.
Yeah, I mean, look, sometimes they're going to put really, really good swings on it. The velo does the work for Mark Vientos there, and he's able to get it out of the ballpark. I don't know if you guys, when the machine went down here, I don't know if you guys talked about the catch that Fernando made, one of the
Not
best
yet.
that you'll ever see. I mean, it was just absolutely spectacular, and I really liked his catch coming in on the slide as well. He is really flashing the leather out there, starting to feel himself and continuing to feel himself with the glove this year. And, you don't win that game without him yesterday, certainly. Oh, yeah, so the intent to walk to McNeil was intentional.
That's right, but there was one earlier
but-
in the game, but it didn't hurt him, but it wasn't unintentional. But that one was intentional, that's right. And they actually brought Vientos up to load the bases on purpose, going with the righty-on-righty matchup there.
But at the end of the day, I thought when he let that pitch go and it was hit for a grand slam, I wondered to myself, is this the last pitch that he throws as a San Diego Padre? And that is it leaves the ballpark for a grand slam. I don't know what you do, Benny. I don't know. One thing I do know is that it is very strange watching a team with a lot of rumors going around it. And when Dylan Cease wears one to the back of the head, it's such a bad feeling that you have as a fan. And it's actually like, I felt it too. So if you felt this way, I don't feel bad. I felt it too. I go, well, there goes his trade value, depending on how much he had anyway. But I go, well, just like Eugenio Suarez got dotted yesterday in the hand, and they're trying to move him. And it's a bad way to live. It's a bad way to live. And it's tough to be a fan of teams like that. When the guys that you're expecting to get you some sort of a haul back go out and get hurt potentially in that game. And I went, oh, man, friggin' baseball, dude, finds a way. What do you guys think? Do you think he's moved? Do you think he's moved by the end of the day, today, tomorrow?
I just don't know. I would be very I'd be very hesitant if I was another team to overpay for Dylan Cease. And I don't think A.J. Preller is going to move him. We talked about it yesterday. AJ's only going to move Dylan Cease if he feels like he gets a really good deal. He's not interested in selling Dylan Cease for pennies on the dollar because Dylan Cease could still help the Padres down the stretch. So is another team willing to at least fairly pay or slightly overpay for Dylan Cease? And the pieces have to be right as well. I mean, they have to be guys that AJ could then potentially flip to improve his rotation and maybe add another starter for the push, because obviously the Padres are going for it. They're in playoff position, 2 games up in the wild card race. They're only 4 games behind the Dodgers. There's no selling off here. It's how can you make this team better down the stretch? And is it possible and even likely that you can make it better without Dylan Cease? Yesterday, Woods, I talked about the reason to trade Dylan Cease is not because you have to financially. It's because maybe your team is better without Dylan Cease going forward. He's 3-10 this year. The Padres have a terrible record in the games that he started. How many more times can you keep giving him the ball in important games? Wouldn't it be better to have maybe a guy who doesn't have as great stuff, but is giving you a better chance to win games down the stretch?
I just don't know. I really, really don't know. And I don't know, what kind of, again, we always talk about the message and how it's received. I don't know what it says to your team that, fought back last night, that's fought back a lot, that's been in a bunch of close games this season. I don't know the message to Manny and Xander and Toddy and Jackson and some of the other guys, the veterans in there, that it says, hey, we're going to trade our closer and we're also going to trade our, at least, beginning of the season frontline starter are probably our 1 or our 2. But no, we're trying to win a World Series, guys. And, again, it always depends on the haul and what you get back. But it's again, the needle that we talk about every day with AJ Preller. He's not only threading a needle, he's trying to throw one through a needle, which is even harder.
Let's talk about the bullpen and Robert Suarez as well in the last few innings of that game when we come back, plus the positive update on Michael King from yesterday. We'll get to all of that in hour number 2. Ben and Woods continuing next on The Fan. Suarez discussion, because his name also, of course, has been mentioned in trade rumors ahead of the Thursday deadline. A little more love for Adrian Morejon. I don't know how much more we can give to Adrian Morejon,
Man.
but he has been so good. Well, he's given up one earned run in his last 29 and a third innings, including another inning and 2/3 with 4 strikeouts yesterday. And it's not like they're bringing him in against the bottom of orders. He is now, every time going in, essentially, Mike Schill is waiting for him to face the best hitters, the best lefties in the league, guys like Juan Soto, and he is getting the job done every single time. I mean, he has been an absolute revelation this year for the Padres.
Dennis Lin in The Athletic, 18 pitches thrown for Morejon. 15 of them were strikes, 4 strikeouts, including one on that new kick change that he's been working on. Unbelievable performance last night.
And you look at what he's done, and you look at what Estrada's done and Adams done, and I think the natural inclination for all of us that says, hey, we need some help on this team offensively. We need maybe another starter. You look at that, and I think, if you're playing MLB The Show, you go, oh, no problem. I'll trade Suarez and save some money there, and we just make Adrian Morejon our closer, because certainly the demeanor and the stuff is, it's closer type stuff. And he gets through the meat and the best part of their order. That's kind of the guy that I want out there every time. He is incredible and has been the entire season. I mean, he's just been unbelievable. So, yeah, man, it certainly lets you dream on that. I think if you're AJ Preller, right? Like that's something you go, well, I mean, not going to lose a lot there. But, if a Wandy Peralta, who has been, go back and take out that New York game a month ago. The guy's been great. I don't feel as comfortable with him in the 5th inning like I do with Adrian Morejon in the 5th or 6th. But, if you could have a guy step up right there, Adrian Morejon could go in and close games for you.
I will go back to what I said last week, though. And the reason I'd be hesitant to trade Robert Suarez is sometimes your most valuable reliever is not your last one. It's the one that can go in and get the biggest outs.
Question.
And that's what Adrian Morejon is doing. And if you make him your closer, Mike Schill, just like any manager, will then have the tendency to not want to use him until the 9th inning. And that might not be the best time to use him. The 9th inning might be the 7, 8, 9 right-handed hitters when, no, I want Adrian Morejon in maybe in the 7th to face the toughest left-handed hitters like he did yesterday, or the 5th or the 6th, when he is needed the most. He has been used so effectively this year. I don't want to change anything about how they are using Adrian Morejon.
No, I'm with you, man. I'm with you 100%. And I do think that once you get into the playoffs, and if you do make the playoffs, well, then I think the way you deploy your bullpen is entirely different. It's not going to be like the Yankees of the 90s, where it's like, all right, we'll go Rivera to Wetland, and then we're going to flip that. We're going to go Wetland to Rivera in the 8th or 9th, and Jeff Nelson. No, I think what they do is it's situational. You saw, hey, man, hate to say it, but you saw Dave Roberts do it masterfully last year with the back end of his bullpen, guys going in different spots, not necessarily, that's my 7th inning guy, that's my 8th inning guy, that's my 9th inning guy. But can you afford to lose one of the big guys at the back end of your bullpen, namely Robert Suarez?
If they're going to do that in the playoffs, though, they need to start doing that during the season. If they've got righties coming up in the 8th that they think Robert Suarez is better against, bring him in the 8th. And then if you got lefties in the 9th, save Adrian Morejon for the 9th. I would like to see that. I will caution, after we kind of bagged a little hard on Robert Suarez last week, I will caution about overreacting. He threw one bad pitch that Mauricio, who's been hot, put a really good swing on. He got a lot of swing and miss. He dotted a lot of 100-mile-an-hour fastballs last night as well. He got all the other 3 outs. That could have been popped up. It could have been missed. He happened to get that one. I don't think that's a referendum on whether Robert Suarez should be traded or not, just because he gave up a game-tying solo home run. Your bullpen is not going to be perfect. Even Adrian Morejon is not going to be perfect the rest of the season. There's going to be some runs given up by the 4 horsemen. So I didn't dislike what I saw necessarily from Robert Suarez. Yeah, he knew he missed that pitch. It leaked over the outside corner, but still, Mauricio put a great swing on that thing to knock it out of the ballpark, and give him a little bit of the credit as well. The rest of the inning didn't look like they were going to touch him that much. So if you keep Robert Suarez, that's great. You've got the 4 horsemen. I just want to see them used effectively the rest of the year. And if you're going to switch and not necessarily close with Robert Suarez in the playoffs because that's not the most effective thing, then start doing it now and just, figure it out the rest of the season. Don't just change it all of a sudden once you get October and the calendar flips.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I agree. I don't know how again, having a more potent offense to get to some of, get a little bit of rest and relief for some of these back end guys is really going to be the key. I mean, it's really going to be the key because you can't go. How many games left on the schedule for the boys, Benjamin, at this point?
We are down to 55.
49.
I want to say
55 games. 55 games left. Left. You can't have Jason Adam with 48 appearances in those 55 games. You just can't. You can't. You need to figure out. It's hard too because you haven't guaranteed yourself anything as far as a playoff spot goes. You're in a decent position, but that can go away in a weekend. Honestly, man, we've seen it happen. So go ahead.
I think this week you're in good shape. You haven't used those guys much. We talked about it yesterday. Since the All-Star break, you really only used them, 2 or 3 times most, any of them for the 10-game road trip, because you had some easy wins and you had some losses where you didn't use them. So they're pretty rested. Now, you used them all yesterday, but you have an off day on Thursday. So I'd imagine that they're all available at least once today or tomorrow, whenever you need them. You've got, Jeremiah Estrada threw 1 pitch yesterday, so he's absolutely fine to go. And none of the other guys were particularly taxed. 18 for Morejon, 13 for Adam, and 16 for Suarez. So I would think we'll see them all at least once more if the games call for it today or tomorrow. Then you've got an off day on Thursday where you get to reset again before the St. Louis Cardinals come to town this weekend. So the bullpen usage has been all right lately. Now, if you trade someone away, that could change the chemistry and the equation of it. So we'll see what happens by Thursday afternoon.
No question, man. No question about it. So it is going to be really we sit here and we're saying we're hyping it up, right? Like this is going to be one of the craziest deadlines. I don't know why I have this weird feeling that, we end up essentially with the team that we have right now without tremendous upgrades, without a massive deal being swung. I think that is really in the cards. I really do. Sure, man, you could go add a Ramon Laureano. You could add an Andrew Benintendi. You could add, somebody to come and help and then just kind of let the chips fall where they may. I don't know that that's the best way to do it. But the moving of, 4 or 5 pieces in multiple trades, we're running out of time a little bit here. And other teams are also going to be very active. So there's a clock on this thing. There's a clock. And when the clock expires, you're done. So I don't know.
But remember, the clock also expires on the teams that want to trade guys. And they don't want to be stuck holding the bag of a contract and a player that's not going to help them the next couple of months because they're going nowhere. So the other GMs will also start to feel the pressure over the next couple of days. They've been in the catbird seat for a while because they know AJ is more desperate. He needs to add players. We can really keep that price tag high. But as they get to the deadline, they start feeling the pressure going, I don't want to be left holding, no chairs left at the table, and I didn't get to trade my guy, and I got nothing for him, and now I got an expiring contract, and I can't even probably offer him a qualifying offer. So I just lost everything at the trade deadline. The dynamic changes here in the last couple of days. AJ knows this, and he's probably waiting for a couple of price tags to come down on some guys around the league because there are hitters available. Absolutely, there are hitters available.
Viva makes a really good point in the chat. He says, was Ben rooting for the Dodgers yesterday? Reds lost some ground. Boy, I'm telling you, that was one of those Sophie's Choice like a mother. I was on the plane looking at the standings and who's playing who, and I went, oh, my God, here we go again. Reds
we talked about it
creeping.
yesterday morning, and we legitimately both were like, I really don't know.
My answer was I am rooting for the Padres because if the Padres win, they will pick up a game on one of those two teams, the Reds or the Dodgers, and either is fine. As long as the Padres take care of business, they will have something good happen over the next 3 days.
My gut tells me I still am rooting against the Dodgers because I at least want to see if the Padres can stay within like 3 to 4 games by the time we have back-to-back series with them here in a couple of weeks. Let's see if we can hang and then make that couple of weeks stretch interesting. If things go the other way, then obviously you start rooting against wild card teams. But for now, I'm still holding on to a small shred of hope at making a run at the division at least.
Meanwhile, I know it's hard, especially for you, Woods, but for a lot of people in the chat as well, and Padres fans in general, you're always expecting the ground to fall out from beneath your feet. The doomer mentality is real. And let's be honest, over 56 years, the Padres have given us plenty of reasons to believe in being a doomer and that the worst possible thing that can happen will happen. However, I'm feeling pretty good that Michael King's coming back, especially after yesterday's simulated game in which he proclaimed himself, I feel 100%. I feel great. I mean, the progression is going exactly as I wanted. Stuff looked good. Gave up a home run to Trenton Brooks, but other than that, he recorded every out, had different situations on the base paths for his simulated game, a little 2+ innings, 40 pitches. He's not going to come back this week, I don't think, but we will see Michael King, barring something new happening. I mean, but in terms of this comeback, everything's going just fine, and he sounds like he will be a part of the Padres rotation for the final, month and a half plus of the season, which is phenomenal news yesterday.
Yeah, really, really good. And again, I mean, I think if you had asked Michael King 3 weeks ago, how are you feeling? He'd say 100%. I mean, he's been ready to get back on the mound. Obviously, there's a protocol for the way that they do it. What a boon, what a lift, whatever, But don't do this, AJ, if you're listening, don't just say, well, we're getting Michael King back, so that's like making an addition at the deadline. I don't want to hear that cottage industry line for a long time.
I'll never say that again after 2022 when
never.
we got Soto and we're like, and we're basically acquiring Fernando Tatis Jr.
Correct. We all know weird things.
I'm good. I'm done with that line from now on.
I'm done with that line. It's like making an addition. No, it's not. He was on the roster.
I do think that because of the nature of what Michael King was dealing with, the nerve thing, as opposed to an actual injury, like there's no rehab necessary. They're not rehabbing a nerve. It's just now it's firing again. And, the arm was always good. It always felt good. The elbow was good. The shoulder, it was good. Just needed the nerve to start firing. So if he says he's 100%, I imagine he's just back to basically how he was feeling early in the season. It's just a matter of, getting locked in terms of I just haven't pitched for a while, so I need to just make, build up my strength again and build up my command again. But it sounds like he was very much on the right track yesterday with what he did on the field at Petco Park.
Well, he's very much welcome back to the San Diego Padres starting rotation. Very, very needed for the San Diego Padres rotation, which is, in flux. And a deep dive into the rotation and how we got to this point. I mean, those are articles from Dennis Lin and AJ Cassaville that I will read over and over again because I still can't believe we're in this position with what we've seen from, you're going into the season, your top 3 starters getting almost nothing.
But
almost nothing.
The argument I made yesterday, and tell me if you agree, Woods, is maybe we want to see more Kolek and Berger down the I mean, they have been legitimately good. Vasquez has been legitimately good all season. If you have more of those starts the rest of the year and less of Dylan Cease and maybe even less of you, Darvish, is that really the disaster that we thought it was going to be? We all assumed, hey, if they don't get Dylan Cease going and Darvish doesn't come back, we're stuck with these guys. These guys have been good. They've continued to be good all season long. At what point do we have to give them some credit for being really solid options in the Padres rotation?
We were talking about this the other day. Like, I don't think anybody's not giving them credit. It's correct. There's a natural comfortability with the name, the more familiar names that you've seen and seen in the playoffs over the last couple of years. But for me, it's more like nobody is saying that they haven't been huge parts of our success this year to 57 wins or whatever we're at right now. Like, nobody is saying that. But what I'm saying is, can you still ride them as hard as you've ridden them for 4 months for another 2 months? And are they going to break down by the time we get to October?
Careful. They've given Kolek a few weeks off at the All-Star break before bringing him back. Berger's had his time now. I mean, they're being smart with it. Let me just ask you both this question. Game 3 of the National League Division Series. You've already had King and Pivetta start the first 2 games. Who do you really want on the mound for that third game? I mean, I think right now, my answer is Randy Vasquez. not Dylan Cease, not you, Darvish. If I'm looking at these pitchers right now, and I had to pick Game 3 starter, I'm picking Randy Vasquez. I mean, results matter.
Yeah.
Stuff is great. Experience is great. Whatever. Results have to matter. And the results have been so overwhelmingly in favor of Randy Vasquez and against Dylan Cease and you, Darvish, that I'm starting Vasquez in that game. And he deserves to start that game.
Yeah, it's wild to think about, isn't it? You just made I just got diarrhea. You just gave me diarrhea over I didn't know it was transmitted over the airwaves, but yes, the thought of that Game 3 and Randy Vasquez, knowing full well, he's going to have 14 base runners on in 4 1/3 innings, and they're going to score 2 runs. It's like, why would it change? I'm with you. I don't know, Benny, and you are right. I mean, I think Vasquez was the first guy Mike Schilt gave credit to when we sat down with him at FanFest. The first guy, he's like, did y'all know that Randy made 20 starts last year? I'm like, God, yeah, I guess I did. I guess I'd forgotten until now. They're high on what he can do. He does keep you in ball games. Man, that playoff intensity is a little bit different. But he certainly has earned it, man. All these guys have been very solid, and they've earned their spots right now. And let's be honest, man, just like Matt Waldron last year, we would not be where we are. We wouldn't even be close to where we are without the contributions of those guys.
I just say, stop looking at the radar gun, stop looking at the name at the back of the jersey, and start looking at the actual results of what they are doing on the mound. And Randy Vasquez wins that, I mean, in a landslide as to who you should trust more going forward in the Padres rotation. All right, we're going to take a timeout. We'll come back. We'll have plenty more Padres talk this morning, but I do want to get to Don't Do This. And I think the greatest Do This story from yesterday has to go to one Deion Sanders. And I'm sure you probably heard some of the news conference yesterday and the bombshell that he dropped, but a courageous performance by Coach Prime yesterday. We'll get to that and more coming up next with Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. First, though, I want to tell you about SDFatLoss.com. It is summer, beach weather. Woods is at the beach. I feel better at the beach. I mean, other than my tan line, I can actually take my shirt off for the first time in a while, thanks to the 40 pounds I lost in 60 days on the SDFatLoss.com program. I got through it because unlike other programs where I had to eat like 5 bars a day in one tiny meal, I was eating real food, and that made such a difference to me. Yeah, I had to be careful about when I eat and how much I ate, but it was real food. It was steak. It was chicken. I could look forward to my meals and not dread them. It was such a game changer for me. And of course, no injections, no exercise necessary to lose the weight, up to a pound of fat per day and 10 to 20% of your body weight in those 60 days. It makes it so sustainable because after your program, you're still eating real food. You go on. Get your free consultation right now by going to SDFatLoss.com. They'll tell you all about it, how you can sign up, and get 20% off during their huge summer sale. Lowest prices of the year. You can start now. Hey, if you want to wait a couple of weeks, that's fine as well. If you got some summer things going on, totally up to you. Just get that free consultation. Get it started today at SDFatLoss.com. That's SDFatLoss.com. Results may vary.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
Don't Do This is brought to you by Trust and Will. Hello, Hawaii.
Don't.
Yes, don't leave your entire estate, house, kids, and life savings up to chance if and when you die.
Do
Set up a Trust or Will online at trustandwill.com.
this.
Is a lot more affordable than you think. Visit trustandwill.com for more info. I was anchoring the news last night at Channel 10, and this was one of our stories about the shooting in New York City. And as details emerged from this shooting, it turned out that the building that the shooter was getting into happened to be the headquarters of the NFL on Park Avenue. Now, new information is coming out this morning. New York City Mayor Eric Adams said the gunman actually was trying to target the headquarters of the NFL, but took the wrong elevator. Investigators believe the suspect, Shane Tamura, who's also dead now, was trying to get to the NFL offices after shooting several people in the building's lobby, including one NFL employee who got shot in the back. I think it was on a ricochet. He was like calling his fellow employees saying, "Get out of the building, evacuate. Gunman's down here." 4 people died, including an off-duty New York City police officer. Just a horrible story. They say Tamura has a history of mental illness, and a rambling note found on his body suggested he had a grievance against the NFL over an unsubstantiated claim that he suffered from chronic traumatic encephalitis, CTE, essentially, after playing high school football 2 decades ago in California. Now, I've been to that building. I was actually, when I covered the Chargers relocation story before they moved, they had the big vote there, and I spent an entire evening in New York City going in and out of that building. There was a news conference. We did live shots right outside the building, so I can picture the entire scene and how chaotic and scary it must have been. I mean, there was a lot of security around there, so I can see, just what the chaos that must have been going on when this guy was running into the building looking for the right elevator to go up, 30-plus floors to the NFL offices. But what a horrific story yesterday in New York.
And he did it's happened before, guys, and we know it all too well. When he shot himself in the chest to preserve his brain for CTE, research, and that was another detail that came out this morning. Obviously, it's horrific. What do you say? The segue into the next story. It was such big news, but it feels almost ridiculous talking about the Las Vegas Raiders releasing one of their players, Christian Wilkins, after only played 5 games for the team. This was the guy with the foot injury, Ben, and more. We talked about Christian last week.
Yeah,
and
that there was going to be the grievance and everything that was going to happen.
Yep. There was the grievance, and now apparently there is an HR dispute. This happened inside a team meeting room. One source told ESPN that there was a playful interaction between teammates, but one teammate didn't find it that way. Christian Wilkins kissed a fellow player on the head, and the teammate took offense to it. Now, I didn't know I could get fired for kissing you on the forehead. Thank you for not being so litigious, but I've kissed you many, many, many times on the head and the cheeks and sometimes the back of the neck, which I know you like very much. Sometimes on the nape of the neck, as I know another favorite of yours, but I didn't know that it made you so uncomfortable.
Benny, I guess Adam hasn't talked to Woods yet.
Well, you know what?
I have not heard yet. Well, if he's going to fire me, do it now.
I kind of agree with this Raiders player in that it's kind of uncomfortable and weird, but I don't think that it should necessarily have resulted in Christian Wilkins getting fired, nor do I think it should result in you getting fired, even though it is somewhat uncomfortable behavior for the workplace. No doubt about it. I mean, it's a little uncomfortable for the workplace.
I like to show my affection to you. And we remember he refused to get the surgery on what was the name of the
Jones
the
fracture
affliction? He had the Jones fracture. And, you look for reasons at a certain point to just say, also, yes, he wouldn't get the Jones fracture surgery. He also happened to kiss this guy on the forehead, and it made him very uncomfortable. They're looking for reasons to get Christian out of the building and not pay him. So that's exactly what happened.
KG says Ben is probably less uncomfortable with a kiss than an outright hug. I am. The hugs are somewhat awkward. But then Woods has the beard kind of scratchy, so he kisses me and you feel the scratchiness of the beard. I don't really like that either, so I don't know exactly how I'm supposed to react to that. All right, let's go to do this.
DD mega doo-doo.
So for the last few, months, there has been some rumors and speculation about Deion Sanders not being in good health, and he is always kind of commented it, and I'll talk about it at the appropriate time, but would not say what was going on until yesterday at their fall welcome news conference for the Colorado Buffaloes. Deion Sanders announced that he had in fact been diagnosed and treated for bladder cancer and decided to have his bladder removed to try to eradicate all of the cancer. He had his doctor there who said, he went through this gnarly procedure, had to have the bladder reconstructed after it was removed, but everything is good. He is cancer-free and free to go on and continue coaching at the University of Colorado. And Deion, I think, in the real do this moment, turned it into a sharing experience and a teaching experience to get other people to go out and make sure they get checked and screened, because he says, my annual physical that I get for other ailments saved my life here. And here's Coach Prime.
You've kind of touched on it, but what was it like staring death in the face and dealing with the reality?
I didn't stare death in my face. I stared life in the face, man. You think I'm playing when I tell you I'm God's guy? I really am. I'm allowed to go through these trials and tribulations so that I could touch and reach and bless people with my words, with the energy, with that thing that God gave me. So I never thought about no death. I had to make a will because I want to be a business. I want to be a good steward, for my kids and for my family. But no, I got too much life to be thinking about death. Too much life. I got too much life in me, and I got work to do. We had to win the third championship. You talking about death? No, God definitely ain't getting ready to take me before that.
Deion did admit, though, as he said,
amazing,
he did fill out a will. And here's a couple of amazing pieces to this story, Woods. Deion said he really didn't even tell his kids. He didn't want, like Shador focused on him. He wanted him focused on what was going on. So he was only vague about what he was actually going through. And only a couple of people in his life even knew he was going through this. And then he was very candid that, hey, you take out the bladder, the equipment does not work as it's supposed to. And he cannot go to the bathroom like normal anymore. So he has immediately turned that into an endorsement deal with Depend undergarments. And again, it's not Depends, it's just Depend. And he says, I now depend on Depend undergarments going forward. So, I mean, he's total. I mean, the guy is the guy's a winner.
Love him or hate him. That's a great story, and I'm so glad he's healthy. Look, man, say what you want. College football is better with him in it. It just is. It just is. Whether they're good, bad, ugly, whatever it is, college football has been better with Deion Sanders in it, and I'm glad he's okay.
He says, if you see a porta potty on the sideline, it's real. I'm just telling you. And that's
Good perspective.
And do this for a Tuesday.
That was Don't Do This with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
We'll talk more Padres, one of the bigger wins of the season yesterday. I also want to get Woods' thought on the other big story from yesterday, Bryce Harper versus Rob Manfred. Go through some of the results of the rest of baseball as the wild card race heats up ahead of the trade deadline. Are a couple of teams now sellers that were buyers? Are there buyers that were sellers? We'll get into all of that coming up next year with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
But first, my friends, let me tell you, if you are feeling a little bit underwater, buried in credit card debt, struggling with high interest debt, you could pay it all off in days with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. You can get cash out now without touching your low rate first mortgage. No appraisals, no waiting, no BS. The Rapid Equity Loan Program is incredible. One client just got $300,000 out approved in under 24 hours, paid off debt, renovated the kitchen, cut their monthly expenses by $1,800, and now just pay one flat fee. That's a big turnaround. Instant approvals, low rates, no hard credit pull. No hard credit pull up front. Listen, your home's equity is yours. Use it. Get cash out to consolidate your debt down to one easy, low monthly payment. Call them now for a free instant appraisal for your home. See how much cash you can get out today. They've got 2,500 5-star Google reviews. They are A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau. Service off the charts. Call now. Get the conversation going. 619-207-4336 or go to loanpronto.com. 619-207-4336. Get that relief now at loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781 on approved credit, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
Not surprised, but I'm hearing some pushback from MLB reporters on Bryce Harper and the story that we brought you in the last hour of the show yesterday about his confrontation with Rob Manfred in the Phillies clubhouse yesterday. This hour on 97.3 The Fan is brought to you by Staples. Calling all parents and teachers at Staples. Your back-to-school budget is officially saved by the button, the easy button, with supplies as low as 25 cents plus laptops up to 40% off and more deals on top brands and trending styles. Find it all at Staples. That was easy. Yeah, I immediately thought I need to hear what Woods has to say about Bryce Harper getting in the face of Rob Manfred, who is going on a tour, apparently, of every clubhouse to, well, I mean, it kind of depends on who you're listening to. If it's Bryce Harper, it's to push the agenda of a salary cap. If it's like Steve Phillips, who I was listening to this morning, it was more of a like, hey, want to get everybody on the same page and just have an informational session and answer questions and what, hey, this is what the owners are thinking. We're not trying to push anything on you, but I just want to be here so you can ask questions and try to do what, like a good boss sort of guy does. I don't know where the reality lies, though, between what Bryce Harper perceived and what the messaging from MLB on Rob Manfred has been, but certainly heard some pushback yesterday. Like Bryce Harper overreacted to this. The word salary cap was never mentioned by Rob Manfred in this meeting, and he just went off on the commissioner.
Immediately, my first response to what you just said is Steve Phillips works for MLB Network Radio. Is that true?
He does, yes. He is absolutely as close to a league mouthpiece, a former GM, works for the MLB-owned arm of the media. So
if Jeff Passan
skeptical.
reports something, I would probably follow his words more than literally anybody else in baseball. If he's reporting something, even if it's from sources and he wasn't in the room, but he's going off of what, like if he's running with something, I'm going to tend to believe him more. And I don't have anything against Steve Phillips. I'm just saying, keep in mind of the source, MLB Network Radio.
Well, I'm also going to believe Nick Castellanos, who was in the room and said it was pretty intense, definitely passionate, both of them. The commissioner giving it back to Bryce giving it back to the commissioner. That's Harp. He's been doing this since he was 15 years old. It's just another day. I wasn't surprised, but I think the worst quote that I saw was from one Rob Manfred yesterday. He began holding regular meetings with teams in the aftermath of the 2022 negotiations. And having said that, one of the things I'm supposed to do is promote a good relationship with our players. I've tried to do that. I have not been successful in that. That's because, guys, when Rob Manfred walks in the room, the players know exactly whose side he's on. He, at the behest of every owner in baseball, he is not on their side. He works for the owners. He does not work for the players. Tony Clark and the Players Association work for the players. And if a guy comes in and starts telling me how, trust me, things are going to be better with this, you're just going to have to kind of bend over and take it. I can absolutely understand why Bryce Harper felt the need to tell him, hey, man, get the F out of our clubhouse. If that's the kind of thing you want to come in here and push. And by the way, guys, we've heard this. This is not the first we've heard of owners wanting to push salary caps on players, and players have already reacted to this season. You've heard many players come out and say, look, if it's so beneficial to us, why do the owners keep pushing it? And I think that speaks volumes. I mean, honestly, it absolutely speaks volumes. You have to be wary of when management starts pushing things on you and telling you, no, it's going to be better. Trust us. Because at the end of the day, the owners want to line their pockets. Castellanos had a great quote. He goes, when are we going to stop pretending that owners, baseball owners that own baseball teams act like they own a nail salon? You know what I mean? These are money printing factories. They get revenue sharing. A lot of them don't choose to invest it back in their team. And I think that's what's really bumming people out. And I know it's bumming the players out. Now, conversely, the players make a buttload of money. They make a ton of money. Their guaranteed money is through the roof. There's got to be a happy medium. I don't see it happening anytime soon, though.
Let me ask you, I believe in at least some of your roles prior to radio host, you managed some people, right? In an office, you have been a manager. I've never been a manager. Yes. I've always just been an employee in everything that I have done. Do you, as an employee, do you ever believe that management is on your side? Or is that always going to be skeptical as an employee that your boss? I'd imagine we have a bunch of managers who are tier ones in our chat right now that actually do want their employees to thrive and succeed and do well and aren't out to steal every penny they possibly can for, their owners or management at the time. We don't believe that of Rob Manfred, or at least players don't believe that of Rob Manfred, but does that even exist? How were you as a manager?
Everything's different when it's smaller, like, I don't want to say mom and pop companies necessarily, but you see what I'm talking about, versus billion-dollar corporations.
Well, I mean, I worked for a couple of really, really big companies in management in both roles, had people under me. And I'll tell you, I had the worst of it because I was a manager / player. So I also had to perform, put up numbers like an employee, but I also had to motivate, lead, and guide 5 people under me as the leader of the full-on player coach, which is way different than just, Adam doesn't have to come in and do a shift every day. Adam is the boss, right? So the player manager, it's the worst of both worlds. I'm out there trying to put up numbers. Meanwhile, I'm also getting fed, we got new protocols in place. Your guys aren't going to like it. We're going to be tracking their phone calls. We're going to be monitoring their appointments, calling behind their appointments, stuff like that. And yeah, man, I had some Bryce Harper moments, certainly with some management in my day. I've had a couple with Adam Klug, our boss. Absolutely. I've had a couple of those. The player manager is the worst. It's the worst thing you can be, the hybrid, because you're not really a manager, but you're still expected to act like a manager and fall in line. So I don't know, man. I honestly, my take overall is keep Rob Manfred out of clubhouses, period. Like we know exactly, if I'm a player, I know exactly whose side you're on, bud. I know exactly whose side you're on, and it ain't mine. Okay. That keep him out of there. It can only harm. It cannot help. He's not going to be in there doing public relations, getting players to go, yeah, actually, this is a great idea. If he's in there selling it, you got the wrong pitch, man.
And he's also not, and I can speak from some experience here, he's not emotional connection guy. You can just tell. He doesn't, he's not going in there feeling comfortable, like, bro hugging the guys. Like, it's just not going to be, it's always going to be awkward when he walks in. I think you're absolutely right, Woods. He's the wrong messenger. They need someone else who can at least somewhat relate and get on the same level as the players to talk to them, other than Rob Manfred. When he walks in, it's like it's like a prince walking in. It's just not, it doesn't feel normal in those clubhouses when he's there that day. So anyway,
well, you make a great point, Ben, when you said the lack of emotional connection. These guys who bust their ass to try to win a World Series trophy, they have the commissioner saying, it's just a hunk of metal. Now, I mean, that's a quote that's going to haunt that guy the rest of his life, as it should, as it absolutely should, because I know a lot of guys that would kill and die for that hunk of metal, that have shredded their arms, that have shredded their bodies trying to get that hunk of metal. When the commissioner, the figurehead of your league, calls the World Series trophy a hunk of metal, that should have been the end of it. That should have been the end of it right there. And it's things like that that have added up over the years. We got to speed the game up. We got to do this. We got to do that. These guys, look, man, I know they make a lot of money. Try if you can to take that out of it. Try to take it out of it. And I know it's hard. I know it's difficult.
All right, we've had a couple of big series here on the eve of the trade deadline that could help impact which decisions teams are going to make this week. Want to get to some of what went on in Major League Baseball and more right after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Well, good news. The L Street on-ramp to Northbound 5 has been reopened. Crews have finished their guardrail repair, so you are good to go there. Now South 15 at the King Freeway. A collision involving several vehicles got the left lane blocked. Crash clearing in the Spring Valley area. Eastbound 94 just past the 54. Northbound 15 before Auto Park Way. We have reports it looks like a small appliance in that right lane. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
All right, quick stat that blew my mind. I'll see if either of you can guess. Which National League team has the worst record since July 4th?
The Dodgers.
That is correct. Very good, Woods. Yeah, the Dodgers have not played well in the month of July. They did win yesterday, as we talked about earlier, over the Cincinnati Reds behind 7 strong innings from Yoshinobu Yamamoto, but they have played pretty bad baseball here in July, keeping the Padres in at just 4 games behind. But that win gave the Padres a 2-game cushion over the Cincinnati Reds. Meanwhile, the San Francisco Giants, who should be making their push with Rafael Devers now, are going the wrong direction as they lost again yesterday, 6-5 to the Pittsburgh Pirates. They lost at home on a go-ahead 2-run home run by Andrew McCutchen in the 7th inning. They've suddenly fallen 4 games out of the wild card spot when, Buster Posey was thinking this was, going to be a go-for-it year. I assume they're still going for it because I don't know that they have much other choice, but they're falling a little further out than they would have wanted to be here at the trade deadline.
Yeah, couldn't be happier about that current situation going on in San Francisco. So, yeah, at this point, you're just trying to eliminate threats. If you can eliminate threats and continue to stack wins. And, I don't know how long this Dodger skid is going to last, but I'm going to enjoy every second of it. Hopefully they continue that route. And again, big 48 hours or so for Andrew Friedman as well. I would expect they're going to be very active, and they have, unlike us and unlike a lot of teams, they've got a buttload of really good prospects that they are able to trade. Don't know that they will. Andrew Friedman likes them a lot, and it would be really hard to unload some guys for Ryan Helsley or somebody like that, guys that you think are a big part of your future. But we'll see, man. I think, don't you guys tend to agree too, with as much money as they make, they just won a World Series. It makes it a tiny bit easier to stomach not moving a Zaire Hope or a DePaula or somebody like at the top of their farm system for a rental reliever. I think, well, we won the World Series. Let's see if we can't run it back with all these great guys we have.
Yeah, I think you can make that argument, and it's probably a little bit easier. But then again, when you've got the payroll that the Dodgers do,
yeah,
you're already so far all in.
Oh yeah,
it
you're
feels
so
like
far all in.
I mean, what's your argument? Well, we're going to dip our toes in the water. You're already 17 miles under the surface. You're so far in this season. You can't just say, hey, we can't really get any further deeper than we already are at this point. I mean, you can't get any deeper. But
that said, right, like, that team is an aged team. They are a team that, like, Freddie Freeman is looking mortal and he's looking old. What are you going to get from Max Muncy? What are you going to get from Mookie Betts, who's had a really, really bad season? Like, they're getting a little bit longer in the tooth. And the future, are they, the Dodgers, going to get rid of a Zaire Hope for a rental of Ryan Helsley to try to win the World Series? I don't know. They typically don't do it. They've given away some really good prospects before, but I just don't know what their plan is going to be. That dude straight up said, I don't want to buy at the deadline. I'm doing this now. I'm giving $70 million to Tanner Scott because I don't want to buy at the deadline. And because baseball happens and injuries happen and underperformance happens, he's going to have to buy at the deadline.
The Cardinals are trying to hang on. They remain 3.5 back of the Padres with a 7-1 win over the Marlins yesterday. I think people still think they're going to be selling here which could hopefully knock them kind of out of contention as well. Just as the Diamondbacks have already started selling and they've fallen out of contention, and they lost again yesterday to the Tigers. By the way, San Diego State's Troy Melton, 7 shutout innings in just his second major league start yesterday, giving the Tigers a lift yesterday. That was nice. But the big series right now, Woods, the battle for the NL Central lead between the Brewers and the Cubs. Brewers clubbed 3 home runs yesterday to beat the Cubs 8-4. One of those teams obviously going to win the Central. The other going to be a major factor in the wild card race, but everyone keeping an eye on that series.
Yeah, that's a banger, man. And the Brewers they will not die right now, and it's pretty interesting to see.
All right, we still have 2 hours to go, including an Incorporator Tuesday with Jesse Agler, who's going to join us at 8:35. And yes, we will have Woods play Take on Woods all the way in Hawaii coming up and qualify. Hopefully another listener for our grand prize trip to Las Vegas. It is all coming up. Don't go away. More Ben and Woods around the corner here on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Well, aloha, everybody. We are halfway home today is Tuesday. Is that correct?
Correct. Even in Hawaii, it's
Even
Tuesday.
in Hawaii, it is still Tuesday. You've got Penny and Kiwi with Paulo. Those are our Hawaiian names. And thank you so much for tuning in to
Because
Penny.
I'm an island boy, and I've been trying to make. Oh, I'm an island boy.
We're singing it, me, Bo, and Taylor, yesterday when we landed on the island of Kauai, and it was quite the experience to get here. But as I texted you yesterday, Benny, very well worth it. The destination. People always say getting there is half the fun, but no, it's not. When you land here, this is the fun part. I mean, this is unequivocally my favorite place on the planet. This house, this neighborhood, all of it. If you've ever seen the movie The Descendants, George Clooney movie, it's really dark. It's very heavy, but the entire movie is filmed in a lot of the movie is filmed in Honolulu, which is right where we are. The Descendants' house is 3 houses down, the pier, the restaurants they go to. It is unbelievable. The best neighborhood really on the planet. I highly recommend, if you have the ability to ever come to the islands, this is the one that you come to, Kauai and Honolulu Bay in particular. It is just incredible. So I'm here for I think I'm here for 10 days. So definitely worth any struggles that it took to get here. I'm so grateful to be here. And of course, grateful to have the gear here to be able to do the show with Paul Rhinel, the executive producer, and Ben Higgins, our friendly neighborhood sports anchor.
So I don't think I have been on a 10-day trip necessarily in my entire life. It's long enough that you can actually go, I'm not sure how much longer I have here. I'm always, when I'm on vacation, I am always hyper aware. All right, I'm here 3 nights. All right, I got 2 nights left. I got 1 night left. I am always hyper aware of how much vacation I have left. But you have kind of hit the point where I am now on vacation, and I will be on vacation for at least the foreseeable immediate future with no need to actually count down the days, because I can truly relax and go, hey, you know what? I don't know if I'm here for 7 more days or 8 more days, but I'm definitely here for a while. So I'm just going to unwind and get comfortable.
Yeah, it's a different one, right? You usually, 4 or 5 days is kind of the max that you feel comfortable leaving your home unattended, whatever. But we've got a house sitter that's taking care of our cats. It's actually going to stay
it's
there.
It's not me, is it?
There.
Because
it's
I am woefully underprepared.
Ben
if that's
forgot
true.
if it was Ben.
No, it is not you. It's not
I would make sure
Paulie.
you get somebody to check on those cats.
Yeah. So, but you're right. And originally the trip was supposed to be 6-7 days like it was last year. And it was me that once I found out, I can take the equipment and do the show. I go extend it, make it. You can't get enough. I mean, look, if this works, I may just be here.
Why would you ever come back if you can just do your work from there and it's available to you? There's no reason to ever come back.
I may just be your Hawaiian correspondent and just learn to live off the island.
Now, has anybody asked you in Hawaii to get them anything or run any errands for them or any favors?
I've had a couple of concierge requests. I got one on the plane the other day. Somebody wanting me to broker some tickets for them. And I said, buddy, I was packing for Hawaii. And I said, I would love to help you get rid of your Padres tickets, but I am unavailable at this point as I am packing for my trip. I am sorry. I don't have time to follow up on this. I did get a ticket request for, free Padres tickets. I will say again, just a reminder, we don't have extra Padres tickets lying around that I can just dole out to anyone anytime. So I have not gotten any requests of like, hey, make sure you pick me up a blank from Hawaii. But like I said, I've got 9 more days after this. There's still plenty of time to get your requests in.
Good.
Did you have any shave ice yet?
Not yet. So
Okay.
we got in again yesterday, and my father-in-law is such a G, man. Knowing we traveled all day, they grabbed the kids, and I walked out. I was in here with Paulie setting up the equipment to get ready for the broadcast, and I go, what is it? What is that smell? Do I smell pizza? And I walked out, and my man had delivered 2 giant pizzas, knowing we've been traveling, knowing nobody feels like going out, nobody feels like cooking. And he dropped off 2 big pizzas. He's like, these are for you guys. Here's some Cokes, have a ball. Just his only fault is that he's a rabid Dodger fan. and launched right into, what are the Padres going to do for the deadline? And I go, I don't want you to worry about your own team. You're only 4 games up. And I told Hannah last night lying in bed, did any of us think the Padres would only be 4 games back in damn near August? Because I will raise my hand. I did not think that was possible. And it's a combination of them playing like ass and us sometimes playing a little bit more, a little bit over our skis and winning a lot of close ball games and stacking some wins early in the season. But all in all, man, all told, pretty happy with where we are right now.
Me too. It was there pineapple on that pizza? Hawaiian pizza?
It was
no,
just pepperoni,
okay.
And which I don't eat. So I picked it off and just ate the cheese, and I had some salad, and it was great. It was great, man. I love it here. I showed Paulie, we did the FaceTime last night when he was helping me set up the gear, and I go, all right, here's the view out my window. These 2 chairs on the porch. If I die, this is the place I want to die, in these chairs. And I tweeted it last night. If you follow me on Twitter, at the Stephen Woods, after that walk-off, man, I tweeted that picture, and I just said, this is where you want to watch a walk-off from. It was it's really beautiful.
We're going to have Take on Woods and Jesse Agler coming up, but I know a lot of people are here. They are just tuning in at 8 o'clock, a little later in the morning, want to hear more about last night's game. We talked about it a lot earlier. One thing we didn't bring up, though, Woods, and I do want to give him some due credit, 3 more hits for Xander Bogaerts.
Yeah, man.
By the way, obviously he's turned things around. I didn't even realize exactly how well he has turned things around. Since the middle of June, Xander Bogaerts is not only hitting .358, but his OPS is the 7th best in all of the National League.
It's fantastic.
He has turned from a completely hopeless batter into one of the better hitters in the National League. And that is, in my mind, one of the biggest developments here of the if not the biggest development of the San Diego Padres 2025 season, because they're such a different lineup if you can actually count on Xander Bogaerts. And I think all of us felt for months like Xander would come up, and we really felt like, well, here comes an out. Here comes a ground ball to short, and it's over. And now when he comes up, I'm actually excited to see Xander Bogaerts come to the plate. I'm expecting a line drive somewhere. Stung that one after the Arise home run and the Manny single. Just stung that one to left field for the double. Goes the other way with line drives. His swing really looks locked in right now, and whatever he did, credit to Xander Bogaerts for turning it around when a lot of us thought that was not going to be possible.
Boston Xander. I mean, really, and again, the confidence, you can see it in his face. Listen, it's one of those things where it's the hard part of a baseball season is trying to get everybody clicking on the same time. Luis Arise, again, doing some weird stuff on the baseball field that I don't think that's ever going to change. I think we just need to come to accept he's going to do some weird stuff out there. Him getting, 11, 12 game hit streak right now.
11
game hit streak right now. Manny Machado is as locked in as I think I've ever seen.
6 straight multi-hit games for Manny, I believe.
Yep. And, the one guy you really feel like you need to get going right now is Gavin Sheets. He is really scuffling. And you know what, man? I think it's just part of a long season, and Gavin Sheets has carried this ball club at times, many, many times this season. So he gets a little bit of grace, playing a ton of games, playing in a new organization, just had a baby. If that baby's anything like that child that was on the plane with me yesterday, I can totally see why he's scuffling right now, because that was a total nightmare. Yeah, it's a real thing. It's a real thing. So you got to get him going.
I think Gavin Sheets, I suspect this is a slump and not like a reversion to form. I think he'll come out of it at some point. However, I love the idea. If AJ Preller can add a bat or two here this week of dropping Gavin Sheets down in the order. Gavin Sheets in the 7 or 8 slot, while he's not swinging quite as well, if you can get some better guys up there to pair with Bogaerts now and Merrill, who seems to be swinging a little bit better. And obviously, as you said, Machado and Arise and Tatis are all kind of getting sort of locked in at the same time. Then you really have a lengthened lineup, and that makes a real difference. And by the way, I'm not way too early to take a victory lap, but I did scream last week how about Bryce Johnson getting a little more playing time? And he's gotten a little more playing time, and he's done stuff with it. You get 2 more hits yesterday, and he's making things happen. He's not necessarily, stinging the ball all around the ballpark, but he's getting on base. His speed is dangerous. And, for the options that the Padres have, I think he's the best option, at least at this moment, until they add. And when they do add, I don't want to see Bryce Johnson go anywhere. I'd love to have him coming off the bench more than maybe like a Trenton Brooks or someone else if they do add to the roster this week.
I don't think he's going anywhere, my friend. I think he is going to be a valuable bench piece, defensive replacement. And now, a guy with a little confidence up at the dish, which I love. So good call, Benjamin. I know you like to be right. I'll say this for all to hear. You were right.
Thank you. Now, here's one that I think is a bit of a mind bender. Don't know what AJ is going to do, but certainly there's been speculation that he could pick up a catcher to, improve offensive production from that position. If he did, and you only had room for 2 catchers on your roster, which one do you keep?
I think my thing's cutting out. I can't hear anything. I don't know. What? Hello? Are you guys there? Hello? Spotty Hawaiian.
I would have, 3 weeks ago, I would have said, you keeping Diaz. Maldonado couldn't get, a hit if his life depended on it. Then Diaz went into a giant slump. Maldonado started hitting a little bit, and I go, well, maybe Diaz is the guy to go. And then last night, of course, Diaz comes up with 2 massive hits, including the walk-off, and now I'm going, well, maybe it's Diaz. Defensively, though, Diaz threw a just absolute awful throw to second base. Maldi's not been great all year long. The framing on both of them is highly questionable. But I don't know which one I would keep if I could only keep one going forward. Diaz, obviously, if they're catching for their jobs, Diaz made a nice little argument yesterday. It should be him, but he had gone below 200 until yesterday. His 2 hits got him up back to 200, and his slugging's at 300. So neither has produced, and I don't know. I don't think you're picking up 2 catchers. So if you do pick up one, you're going to have to decide on which one you keep and which one you don't. And I don't know what the answer to that question is.
I think we all know the answer to that question. They're probably going to end up rolling with both. And just not addressing that position. Listen, you're a big tea leaf reader. My God, how many quotes do you need to see in the media? How many stories do you need to hear behind the scenes to know that Mike Schilt really loves these 2 catchers? He loves them. He loves them. He trusts them for all of their faults, for all of their egregious boxed balls and bad throws, and he loves both of them. And again, if you add to the bench, then maybe you live with that. Those guys are in the 9, and that's how we roll, and that's how we go out and compete in the playoffs if we get there.
I wonder, with Schilt, we know he loves these catchers, but he also loves every single guy on the team, to a fault almost. He will never talk poorly about any of his players. Wouldn't he love the new catcher that comes in and he's like, oh, that's our guy too?
No, he's not going to talk poorly of them, but I think if you said to him, look, Mike, we did this and this, and T Wade's got to go and Bryce Johnson's got to go because we upgraded here, I don't think he's going to raise that big of a stink about a guy coming off the bench. I think he would potentially raise a stink about losing a Maldi or losing a Elias Diaz. I do. And again, just based on the things that he said to us.
I tend to think, though, again, hypothetical, but AJ could pull off a trade the next 20 minutes and bring in a catcher, and they'll have to make that decision.
Yeah.
And if I had to guess, I think Maldi stays and Diaz goes.
I agree.
Which means it's not impossible that Diaz's last moment on the Padres was a walk-off single last night. Again, I think you're right. I think they'll probably both survive, and they'll just go and roll with those guys at catcher the rest of the year. But it's not impossible that could happen today, which would be one of the strangest occurrences probably in Elias Diaz's life.
It's like Ben just said, too. That Adam just said in the chat. We already missed out on Danny Jansen, who was moved from the Rays yesterday. And so it's not like there haven't been guys out there that they could have gone and snatched, and they just chose not to. So, if the writing's on the wall, I think we're reading it pretty clearly. Let's upgrade in a couple of other different spots, and then it makes those 9-hole ABs not so important.
I still would I would love if they could at least continue to explore a Kyle Higashioka reunion, because if you're going to bring in anybody,
Texas is hot now. Texas is red hot.
But if you're going to bring in anybody, that's a guy that Mike Schilt knows, everybody seems to love. That's That's as seamless of a transition as you could possibly make mid-season.
Texas, though,
why trade him now?
Like the Padres. Texas is right at the luxury tax line, and this would be their third year going over. So they could do the old sell and buy thing. Sell on Kyle Higashioka, pick up somewhere else, and stay under the luxury tax because they're getting to 50% penalties if they go over this year. So maybe Higashioka could be available even if they are still going for it moving forward. It's one of the many interesting questions with the trade deadline coming up on Thursday. Of course, 97.3 The Fans coverage of the MLB trade deadline is brought to you by Palomar Health, champions of healthcare, champions for you. And we'll have more on our roundtable coming up this Thursday morning at 10 o'clock, just in the hours before the Major League Baseball trade deadline. We're going to take a timeout. When we come back, we are going to do Take on Woods. Woods is going to isolate himself in Hawaii for a couple of minutes while we play on this end with our contestant, and then we'll see if we can qualify someone for a trip to Las Vegas coming up next with Ben and Woods. Don't go anywhere. Be right back. 833-288-097 is the number if you want to be our contestant. Be right back here with more on 97.3 The Fan.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place. Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come.
Would not officially announce it yesterday before the game. I'm not sure if he did after the game, but Ryan Bergert was in the clubhouse yesterday, and the expectation is he'll be activated, called up, and we'll start game 2 of the Padres series tonight. We'll have a preview coming up in our final hour. I got some more trade rumors from Dennis Lin of The Athletic, so we got plenty of Padres talk still on the way. Right now, though, before we get to Jesse Agler at the bottom of the hour, it is time to play today's game of Take on Woods. All right, so here's what we're going to do. Take on Woods brought to you by Bay Alarms, security and fire alarms for every business. We got you. Noel is our contestant, Woods, but you are going to, and if he maybe already has, he's going to back away from his computer. He's not going to listen to this, and we will text him as soon as we're done.
Now,
So
he is, I'm texting him right now. He's got his headphones off and turned down. I've killed audio. Like he cannot
hear
us.
what's going on. So let's bring Noel on. Noel, welcome to Take on Woods. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. You know how our game works? 5 questions of musical trivia.
Yes.
All right, let's get to it. You'll get to pick our category today. If you can beat or tie Woods, you will qualify for our grand prize drawing, 2-night stay at the MGM, Park MGM in Las Vegas, 2 tickets to Motley Crue on September 19th, and a $100 gas card. Get your own tickets for Motley Crue and their Las Vegas residency at Ticketmaster.com. All right, here are your choices. We've got Mothers and Fathers, 5 song titles that include either mother or father. Not on Any Map, 5 songs whose titles are fictional places. And our new category today is Get Out, 5 song titles or artists that all contain out in their name. So, Mothers and Fathers, Not on Any Map, or Get Out. Noel, what would you like to play?
I'll do Get Out.
Get Out, our new category again. So, again, this is either a song title or an artist, but they all contain the word out, O-U-T, in their name. You'll have 60 seconds. If you don't know an answer, you can pass. We'll come back to it if there's time left on the clock. First question, the 2-second song. Paulie will play you a little music. You need to give me both the song title and the artist to score that point. And I'll give Paulie a second to cue it up here for us. All right, so the category is Get Out. Paul, you ready?
Yes.
All right, let's put 60 seconds on the clock. Noel, your time begins when Paul plays our music. Again, title and artist. Good luck. Let's take on Woods. Here we go.
I'm lying alone with my head on the phone.
Oh my gosh. I have no idea.
You can pass. Ms. Jackson and Hey Ya are 2 of the top hits for which Atlanta hip-hop duo?
I'm going to pass.
Okay, the Rockies' Charlie Blackmon was always well known for his walk-up song Your Love by which English band from the 80s?
No idea.
Let's go. Anxiety is the theme for which 2014 song that became the first top 10 hit for 21 Pilots?
It's a song by
It's the song
21
title.
Pilots.
Yep. No, let's go with Hall & Oates sing, But I'm Out of My Head when you're not out of time. Not going to go so well. All right.
I don't think that's going to hold up.
All right. Should I give I'll just leave the answers out for now, and we'll let Woods play. We can get right back on. There he is. All right, Woodsy.
Are you there?
Hello, gang. Yep.
See how you do in this category.
I minimized the chat, and I sat here in silence. I turned the headphones down and everything.
All right. Noel's score is locked in. You'll get same 60 seconds, same 5 questions. Let's cue things up. Your time begins when Paul plays the music. Good luck, Woods. Let's take on Noel.
I'm lying alone with my head on the phone.
I'm All Out of Love by Air Supply.
Correct. Ms. Jackson and Hey Ya are 2 of the top hits for which Atlanta hip-hop.
Outkast.
Correct. The Rockies' Charlie Blackmon was always well known for his walk-up song Your Love by which English band from the 80s?
The outfield.
Correct. Anxiety is the theme for which 2014 song that became the first top 10 hit for 21 Pilots.
Stressed Out.
Correct. Hall & Oates sing But I'm Out of My Head When You're Not Around, in which 1984 hit.
When you're not around. I'm Out of Touch.
Out of Touch, and we have a 5 out of 5, which makes Noel's score fairly irrelevant in this game. I'll just congratulate Woods on a well-played game today.
Yeah,
Thank
that's
you,
all that
Woodsy.
matters.
Bam.
Even 3 time zones away with a slight delay. He nailed that category called Get Out.
Get Out. I did not know the categories.
All out of love, outcast, outfield, stressed out,
okay.
and out of touch. All right, we will come back. Jesse Agler is here in San Diego. He will join us for the Incorporator, talk about last night's walk-off win. He got to call the walk-off winner from Elias Diaz, and we'll talk to the voice of the Padres when we come back next here on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Let me walk you guys first through the range of emotions that I felt on Sunday when the Tier 1s went out to play a game. And I slid into second base to try to break up a double play, and I landed very, very hard on my right wrist, and I jammed my wrist. And I came back to the dugout, and I go, oh, no, Paulie, all that work that QC Kinetics did on my wrist, I jammed it, and it's still a little bit tender. But the good news is I know exactly what I'm doing the minute I get home to San Diego. I'm going right back into QC Kinetics because I had a lot of the same pain in my wrists before, got treatment, and fixed me right up. So it's kind of cool to know what I can expect from QC Kinetics. And if you woke up this morning and your knees are screaming at you, your back's screaming at you, tough to walk up and down stairs, right? Groaning every single day. Listen, it's not going to go away. Surgery is an option. It's not the best option. The best option is to go talk to the medical pros at QC Kinetics. That's exactly what I'm going to do as soon as I get back, assuming this thing doesn't heal on its own. But it's been a life changer for me. Can do all the things that I love to do now because of QC Kinetics. So they will take a look also at your x-rays and MRIs that you have. This is a great place to go get a second opinion. All right. We are talking about natural cellular therapies, no scalpels, no pills, long-term relief with no dreaded recovery. And listen, it's a free consultation. So worst case, you learn something new. Best case, you get your life back. Grab the phone right now. Give them a call today. Locations in Hillcrest and Torrey Hills. 619-614-PAIN. 619-614-PAIN. Once again, 619-614-PAIN. Let them know Woodsy sent you, please.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
What a game last night at Petco Park, and we've got Jesse Agler standing by, ready to talk all about it. He's back from the Padres' 10-game road trip, and we will get to Jesse right after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
We've had all kinds of problems this morning, guys. Now westbound 52 jumping into the act just past Mast Boulevard. A solo vehicle accident blocking that right lane. Tow truck is rolling up to assist with that. Also, northbound 805 just past Nobel. Collision involving car and a big rig. That's over to the right shoulder. The find on the South 5 coastline near Cannon. Accident being cleared over to the right shoulder. Up ahead for Lucadia. Accident over to the right shoulder. And stalled car eastbound 78 right around San Marcos Boulevard. Got the slow lane blocked. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
And joining us, as he does each and every Tuesday morning during the baseball season, the voice of the San Diego Padres, Jesse Agler. And I did hear on the TV broadcast last night, Mud Grant said he literally kissed the tarmac at Lindbergh Field when you guys landed after the hottest, stickiest 10-game road trip you could probably put together in a Major League Baseball season. How nice was it to be back, Jesse?
It was very nice. Yeah. I mean, it's funny because, we are very fancy travel setup, obviously. We don't go through the terminal. So when we get off the plane, we get off in fresh air. Like, the plane parks at the north ramp at the airport there, and there's just a stair car that comes up and we walk right down onto the buses. And so you get the fresh air immediately. And I think every single person, there's 70 whatever of us, I think, in the traveling party, every single person who took that first step outdoors when we landed on Sunday night probably had the exact same feeling. It was the most refreshing, wonderful breath you could ever take after that road trip. 71 degrees or whatever it was at the airport. And we just all were like, oh my gosh, thank goodness we're back.
Jesse, when I'm driving around San Diego and you are in my ears, you always sound great. I don't even know that you know how good you sound on the island of Kauai, which is what I experienced yesterday in the car when we got the rental car that took 50 minutes to get, put you guys on immediately, and hearing your voice in the beautiful islands, you actually sounded better and you sounded more refreshed in Kauai than you do, other times. It was very strange.
I think that might be you. I think you me. Might. Yeah, it could be. What part of the island are you staying on, by the way?
Honolulu Bay.
That might be my favorite place in the world. Kauai.
It is my favorite place in the world. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. I tell these guys earlier too. I said off the air, I said, anytime you have a comeback win, it's pretty special. Down that much that early and able to come back and win that game. I mean, by the skin of your teeth. But after, like you just said, that road trip, it would have been really easy to just go, well, here we go. We're back, and everyone's kind of gassed, and Dylan Cease has served it up, and we're down. I just, again, it's a win that feels like two.
It's the hardest team in the world to figure out because, there's all these games, right, where it seems like they score a couple of runs early and then nothing, and often they hang on and win that game, let's be fair. But then you have games like yesterday where they look like that, ferocious offense that they were for most of the second half last year that was just a machine-like. And, that, as you said, was incredibly impressive when you consider, just sort of the gnarly nature of that road trip and the weather. And, we didn't get back late, but we didn't get back early either on Sunday night. And as you said, you're down early. I think a lot of teams in that exact situation probably would have looked like they were packing it in. And these guys just aren't like that. That's just not the personality of this team. And that's probably the ultimate compliment you can give a team, is that, they're not going to roll over, even with all those circumstances kind of stacked up against them. And it's a fun group. It's a really fun group. They're hard to figure out. I still don't know, what the real Padres are in 2025. It seems like every time you have a pretty good sense of what they might be, you see something a little bit different. All I know is they play their tails off, each and every night. And I mean, they had a sloppy one. I think it was Friday in St. Louis. It was very sort of out of character and it felt weird. And, they did some dumb things on the bases, which they don't usually do. They kicked some balls around in a way they don't usually do. And it was like, ooh, that was kind of ugly. And since then they've played such good, sound baseball, such exciting baseball, such fun baseball. And, they refuse to roll over when they're down in any way. And, last night, obviously, a tremendous example of that. One of the wackiest games we've seen all year.
Well, it was. And, like an infinite number of things can happen during a baseball game. But if you ever put together a bingo card of things that could happen, a grand slam, an ejection, a walk-off, a pitcher getting hit by a line drive, that game had about as many spots on the bingo board covered as you're going to get, Jesse. I mean, I can't imagine that you've seen a variety of things happen like you did in the game last night.
It's funny. I think I actually said at one point last night, I don't know if we had that on the bingo card. I mean, it really was one of those games because, like you said, I mean, even, the double that began the Padre rally in the bottom of the fifth inning, Beatty kind of slid and kicked it all the way over to the line. I mean, it was like the home run robbery Fernando had, and then that guy coming back and hitting the grand slam the next inning. I mean, it's like, it's just the beautiful stupidity of baseball, as I always call it. I mean, it's the dumbest game, but that's part of why we love it so much. And yeah, last night it was kind of a drunk game from the start. Even the top of the first inning, if you just kind of look down at the box score and you see that he struck out 3 guys, you'd be like, oh, he got off to a great start. But it was a very dicey, if there can be such a thing, striking out the side. I mean, he threw a ton of pitches. It was kind of in and out, a couple 3-ball counts in there. He gets the result, but even that inning, it felt like, well, there was nothing straightforward about that. Even though he struck out the side, it was like, well, boy, even that was a little bit, crazy. So, I mean, from Jump Street last night, nothing about the game was straightforward or normal. And it's always a lot more fun when you come out on the right side of a game like that.
Jesse, we just had this conversation before we brought you on, and really, really interesting numbers out of the catching position going into last night's game. Padres catchers had posted the following numbers with runners in scoring position this season. 17 weighted runs created plus, that's the worst in the big leagues. 399 OPS, worst in the big leagues. 188 WOBA, worst in the big leagues. 135 batting average, worst in the big leagues. And of course, Elias Diaz comes up and gets the game-winning knock. He had horrific numbers in high leverage with runners in scoring position. And we just had this conversation. Everybody has been saying all season, well, we need to upgrade. We need to upgrade. My take is if you can upgrade some other areas, it makes those numbers not so bad, right? I mean, they're able to pull some of the weight off of those guys. And I do get the sense Schulte really loves these guys. You're around the team all the time. What is your sense of not only what the Padres are going to do at the deadline, but do you think that they will actually go out and try to upgrade that position?
Look, there's a lot to break down there, and it's a really good question or series of questions. Let me start with this. I think they are a lot more comfortable with those two guys than probably most of the fans are. I think, if that's not obvious by now, I do think that's like a fair way to look at it. Generally speaking, catcher is different than any other position when you're talking about, the trade deadline and making moves. And, they brought in Austin Nola in 2020 and that worked out well, at least in the short term. And it's just not a simple thing to do. You have these relationships that begin in spring training between the pitchers and the catchers. And there's sort of a critical thing, that is sort of, batoned on over the course of the season. And, those dynamics are real. And that trust that is not given but earned by the catchers is real. And so a new guy who might not know anybody jumping in, that's not an automatic win. Like just because he's got good numbers in Atlanta or Minneapolis or wherever doesn't mean he's just going to come in and be himself. Now that's true of anybody at the trade deadline, but the catcher thing is more complicated than bringing in an outfielder or a reliever or something like that. So I think, you have to remember that whenever you're having the conversation. Another thing I would say is, if you look at all the success the Padres have had pitching wise this year, you have to give a good amount of that credit to these catchers. So you have to keep that in mind. And then, as you said, if you're getting a little bit extra somewhere else, does that cover up the lack of production you've gotten at times from that position? Absolutely. I'll take it a step further. If you get more of what you'd expect out of your big column 4, same thing, right? It's even without adding another guy. If Arise is going to get on the tear, it looks like he's getting on and get his numbers back to where they usually are. If Jackson Merrill, gets hot or something like that, again, you're not thinking about it. Tony made a comment a couple of weeks ago, and it was almost like offhand, but I loved it so much. When you're talking about the bottom of the batting order, I don't know if you want to call that the bottom 3, the bottom 4, the bottom 5, but he says, in the middle of like a rally or trying to kickstart something, he says, you just need them to do one thing. You need to get one thing out of those guys, to kind of get something going. And, whether that means, it's something as small as a ground ball to the right side to move a runner, or just a non-empty at bat in a situation, or a walk, even a hit by pitch. If you get one thing from those guys down at the bottom, it's going to be okay. Remember, the 5th inning was set up because in the previous inning, Bryce Johnson got on base with 2 outs. That got Diaz up. Diaz, I think, struck out to end the inning, but that meant that Fernando was going to be able to lead off in the bottom of the 5th. He ends up doubling off of Beatty, and that began that whole big rally. So if Bryce Johnson doesn't get on base, this sort of easy to forget 2-out single in the bottom of the 4th inning, you have Diaz leading off in the 5th, and who knows how that inning ends up going. So, that one thing that Bryce Johnson did that's so easy to forget about because there were a million other things that happened was probably critical to the Padres winning that game last night, or at least taking the lead in that moment. So, there's a lot there. I know this. I know this question began with the catchers. I look, I don't know what to expect because it's AJ and anything is on the table. Everything is on the table as always with him. But if they did not upgrade or quote change the catcher position, I would not be shocked. I'll say that.
I love that comment from Tony because that's how I watch games as well. When, the 7, 8, 9 hitters are coming up, I always think to myself, there's a good chance that they're not going to score this inning, or they could be a big inning because if those guys a couple of those guys do something, then you've got guys on base for the top of the order. Right. This could be a 0, but it could be like a 5. So I never want to miss what might happen there at the bottom of the order. Before we get to the incorporator, Jesse, we talked about it when you called the triple play to clinch the playoffs last year, but I'm always interested in the mechanics of a walk-off and like how prepared you were for, had a couple opportunities there in the bottom of the 9th inning and kind of what's going through your mind as Diaz is stepping to the plate.
Last night it's funny because the conversation Tony and I had when we were speed walking to our cars last night was about how like our brain stopped functioning in about the 7th inning yesterday. It was, it's a 3.5 hour game coming off that road trip. And it was just like, oh my gosh, like there were a couple of times like late in that game last night where I had to go to my 3rd vocabulary choice because I just couldn't get to the 1st or 2nd word. It was like my brain was just like shutting down on me. And so, by the time we got to the bottom of the 9th inning and you kind of realized everything was on the line, all I was thinking about was like locked in and focused on this pitch. I wasn't trying to look up any cool, fun information. I wasn't, trying to overdo, any kind of big picture analysis. I was like, let me just make sure that I get whatever happens right, because my brain was not firing on all cylinders. So it was nothing too interesting in my head at that moment. It was just, hey, stay locked in on every pitch. report what happens and let the moment kind of speak for itself. And that was obviously a lot of fun last night.
That was a good call. I mean, you had to know if it's a single, is it going to be deep enough, or is it too hard to score the runner? You're watching that guy from second, and you clearly were right on top of that with Iglesias running home. So, all right, let's get to the incorporator. Of course, Woods is in Hawaii, so we like to do themes if we can, and we decided
Rooster.
No,
not rooster.
Not rooster.
Well, we could do the other word for a rooster, but I don't think that would fly on the broadcast.
Paulie, if you would.
Haule.
Yeah,
Haule. It's the Hawaiian word for a non-Hawaiian person who comes to the islands, kind of an interloper, a haole.
Yeah, an interloper. That's what I am.
The carpetbagger of Hawaii.
Exactly.
Yes.
Woods
exactly
is a haole
right.
this week, so that's
Love it.
that's your word for tonight. Good luck, and good luck to the Padres, and welcome home. It's good to have you back in San Diego, at least for a week. Where do you guys go next after this week again?
Just 3 games in Arizona on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Oh, that's survivable.
Nice.
Yeah, and then back
That's
home for
survivable.
Boston next weekend.
All right.
Nice. Yeah, get some golf in out there in Arizona, Jesse. It's lovely.
115. Very nice.
Yeah, it's lovely. Thank you, brother.
Appreciate it, guys.
All right, man. Talk
Jesse
soon.
Agler, voice of the
Mahalo.
Padres and the incorporator. Mahalo. That means thank you.
Yes, it does.
Aloha means many things.
Yes, it does.
Hello.
It does. My ohana.
Goodbye.
My ohana is they're up and walking around.
Oh, those
in
are
the
your
other room.
kids.
Yeah, the family ohana. It's a very important word here. And they're up and running around watching Happy Gilmore 2 again.
Again.
70 for the 70.
Big hit.
came
Quick
out-
review. Paulie gave us his review yesterday. Your
It
quick
came
review.
out Friday. It came out Friday. They have not stopped watching it since. They've watched it every day, multiple times a day. It's okay. I mean, it's a sequel, and they've brought back all kinds of throwbacks and whatever. It's good for what it is. It's not necessarily for me. It's for them. So I've caught bits and pieces of it here and there, and I don't think I'll sit down and give it a full run through, to be honest with you. But they seem to enjoy it, which makes me very happy. They are way, way into it. And hey, you know what? If Bo was actually talking yesterday about getting some golf swings in, so if that maybe gets him going and wants to go out and play some golf, then I think that's ultimately a good thing.
You and Paulie were of like mind. That was pretty much Paulie's review. It was a sequel. It was what you expect from a sequel. You didn't.
It
think
became a
was gonna
game
be-
of who's going to be the next cameo. He
I
had
got
like
sent
75
a list
cameos.
of like the 75 gratuitous cameos
But
that,
it was-
that happened in the movie.
Like if it was like 10 or 15, I think that would be lame. Like it got to the point where like, well, this is just what the movie is now, and now I got to see who's playing this role and who's this character and all that. And then after that, like it was entertaining enough to keep you locked in for the most part.
Yeah, Paulie, your wife nailed it. Bad Bunny, he was fantastic.
He was outstanding.
Now, my kids, they I said, "Oh, that's Bad Bunny," and they've been obsessed with Bad Bunny ever since. They hadn't heard much of his music or anything. But why do they call it, Dad? Why do they call him Bad Bunny? Is he bad? I said, these are all things we can talk about on the beach later.
All right, by request, a little early Rhinel Report coming your way to kick off our 9 o'clock hour. That is next. Don't go anywhere. We got a shout out to his family, unfortunately, as well. Ahead with Ben and Woods here on 97.3 The Fan. We got 1 hour to go. Our thanks again to Jesse Agler, although I do want to I want to push back against something he said about the Padres catchers, but I just want to bring up a question for you guys. We also have another pair of tickets to Hart. We'll give those away coming up this hour as well, and we've got our Rhinel Report just in a couple of minutes. But as we talked about, and you asked him about, Schilte's trust in those catchers and the pitchers' trust in the catchers, and I totally get it. I even remember, like from Little League, I was a pitcher, and I pitched better. Certain catchers I felt comfortable with, they called good games. They framed the ball well, gave me a good target. It made a difference. So I'm not denying that catching is important. However, in the era of PitchCom, where more and more pitchers, maybe all of them, can start calling their own games, how much does it really matter? What kind of rapport you have with the catcher? Just catch the ball. I know what I want to throw.
I disagree.
I'm asking.
I mean, I think if you ask, think about it. And I know PitchCom has changed the game a little bit, but I think at the end of the day, you look at some of the greats, and some of the greats always had the guy that they felt a lot more comfortable throwing to. Now, some guys don't care. They just don't care. They're like, give me the ball. I'm going to go out and I'm going to throw the rock, try to put it where I want. But I think it's a real thing. And, you think about like the Padres, as bad as Luis Camposano was defensively last year, we won a lot of ball games with him in there. And some of the pitchers actually pitched really, really well. Dylan Cease threw a no-hitter with Campy back behind the dish, and he was ranked one of the worst defensive catchers. So it's about comfortability. It's about familiarity. It's like Jesse said, those relationships that start in spring training. And yeah, of course, man, PitchCom changes a lot. But again, you still have to be on the same page, I think, with PitchCom, and maybe even quicker, Ben. Like if the catcher's calling that game.
Well, if the catcher's calling the game, yes. But if the pitcher is calling the game, and I don't know exactly, I know you, Darvish.
I don't know the percentage.
Michael King usually calls his own game.
Forth.
Yeah, but I mean, if the pitcher is calling his own game, I'm just asking the question: how much rapport do you have to have with that catcher when you're the one telling him? Now, when the catcher's calling the game, you can't be shaking off all the time, especially in the pitch clock era. So you've got to have a really good catcher who's on the same wavelength that you are. But if the pitcher is calling the game, I just wonder. I mean, if someone else came in, then they know what they're doing. They're major league catchers who've had success in other organizations. Are they really not going to be able to, get a rapport quickly with a guy, especially who's calling his own game? Yeah, here we go. Yeah, we're all about this. I just think that maybe we're overemphasizing the importance now.
We are. And the funny thing is, man, if one part of it is true, the other part needs to be true as well. A guy could come in here, spend 15 minutes with the starting pitchers, and those guys go, man, this guy really knows his stuff. He's done his homework, and I actually feel really good throwing to him. That absolutely can happen. No question. I think, we use the familiarity excuse, and I'm not saying Mike Schilt is doing that, but the continuity excuse of, well, we certainly can't make any big waves now because nobody's going to know what we know. And, I think a guy can go up and go, no, this guy clearly knows his stuff. And I love how he frames my slider. I love how he goes and gets my fastball, whatever it may be. There's a lot of nuance to this game. And a new guy could come in here and hit the ground running just as easy as anybody else. So that needs to be on the table when you're thinking about it as well.
Yeah, I'm not saying discount the factor of of what they have built. I'm just saying don't be completely afraid to upgrade at a position that you've needed to upgrade at all season based on some outdated notion of the catcher has to be the one catching this guy who's,
Benny, let me ask
now
you this.
Pushing a button on his belt and calling his own game for the most part.
Let me flip the script on you a little bit. I think this is going to sting a little bit. So in golf, you're just hitting the ball. You're just hitting your golf shot. Yeah, it's the same thing. I'm just going to hit my golf shot. I'm going to chip it out of the rough, and I'm going to try to knock it in the hole. Caddies are just guys that carry bags.
I think it depends on the caddy and the golfer. I think for some golfers, the caddy, they don't even want to hear what the caddy has to say. I'm making my own decision. I'm playing my game. I'm the one who has to hit the shot. Others will probably just tell me what you think I should do, and I'm going to go out and execute it. And it's a situation by situation case. And I don't know what the situation is with the Padres. Are those guys like caddies where we're telling our pitchers what to do every step of the way and they're just simply executing our game plan? Or are we just the caddy who carries the bag? I just catch the ball. And the pitcher is the one who's making the decisions. And, Ruben is making a game plan. The pitcher's then executing it. And I'm just back there to try to block the ball and frame. And, the valuable things. But, by the way, the Padres catchers are not rated very highly in any of those things as well.
Yeah, really nothing.
None of those metrics are favorable for the Padres catching core. So everything that is valuable is completely intangible, really, with the Padres catchers that we can't see necessarily as fans.
And it does get ridiculous at times. Like, are you telling me, who's the best catcher in the league? You couldn't trade for that guy, put him behind the dish, and your pitchers feel immediately better? The guy that does all the homework.
JT Real Muto comes in.
Right.
You're
fine.
I think you're going to be okay, guys.
You're fine. And like Ray says, it's also about knowing the batter's tendencies, hot zones, pitch mix, a lot of homework, reading their feet, reading their swing. All of that comes into it. And by the way,
if they're calling the game, yes.
Yeah. And by the way, I'm sure Maldi and Diaz, they're veterans. They've been around a long time. I'm sure these are things that they're aware of.
And maybe they are calling the games for Bergert and Kolek and young guys, but the veterans, they're not. So that makes a difference as well.
Look, man, if it's me and I have the opportunity, if I'm at the helm and I have the opportunity to upgrade the catching position, I'm doing it today. Absolutely today. I would have done it 6 weeks ago, but I'm not. It's not me.
All right. Paulie's got some headlines. You wanted an early Rhinel Report, Woods. You're getting an early Rhinel Report. Here we go.
And get things started here with our today's edition of the Rhinel Report.
Now tuned into the greatest.
Welcome to the Rhinel Report with Paul Rhinel.
Hi, Paul.
All right.
2 stories from the world of sports that we haven't gotten to yet.
We'll start off in Major League Baseball.
And 1 story that you didn't know you needed.
Are you laughing, biatch?
It's the Rhinel Report.
Hey, Paul, how you doing? Okay, how are you?
On 97.3 The Fan.
Are you ready to bless the mood? I need some help, please.
That was good.
Can I get a oh yeah?
All right. Happy Tuesday. Aloha.
Aloha,
buddy.
All right, let's get started here. No easy way to put it. Got to start off on a sad note, but big news yesterday in Major League Baseball as Cubs and baseball legend, Hall of Famer, Ryne Sandberg passed away yesterday at the age of 65, I believe it was. I was watching, it was during the Padres game. I don't know. I saw a lot of different tributes pretty much across baseball. Like they would break into the game and have some words. I think the Cubs posted like a 10-minute video. Pretty much an entire inning was obviously dedicated to Sandberg. And just a really tough loss for the sport yesterday.
Yeah, no doubt. And for all of us, I just turned 50. For all of us that grew up having WGN on in the background at all times, watching the Chicago Cubs at Wrigley Field, Ryne Sandberg was like the elite of the elite. His numbers are staggering for his position. He was so far head and shoulders above a lot of the other guys at the Keystone that he just jumped off the screen at me when I was a little kid. Always loved Rhino. Quiet, like good demeanor, but you could tell there was also a little bit of a psychopath living in there as well. And Benny, I know you feel the same way, man. Like that's a part of our youth that is gone way too soon.
Absolutely. I was always envious of the Cubs.
100%,
actually had,
man.
You mean someone other than your 8 hitter can be the second baseman, with, hitting 210 with 3 home runs all season?
Right.
No offense to our beloved Tim Flannery at all. Not even a little bit, because I love Flan. Nobody played harder than Flan, but Flan would tell you today, I would take his offensive prowess. No
all
question.
The second basemen had to play hard because they couldn't hit. So that's the only reason they were out there.
Brother, he texted me a picture. We got some baseball cards from my dad. He picked out a bunch of cards and sent them over. And we pulled a Tim Flannery card. And Bo was like, Dad, it's Flan. And I shot a little video and sent it over to Flan and said, hey, man, just so you know, you're still making kids' days, all these years later. And he sent me back a picture of him going so hard into second base, upending somebody. And he said, he goes, that's so cool. Love you all. Hope you're well. We didn't have any rule about killing people on double plays. Sarge Matthews, just another night playing for our lives. It was Sarge sliding into him. He's upended, actually. And, yeah, Tim would have to go out and play for his dinner every single night, because with the bat, he wasn't the biggest contributor. Ryan Sandberg was the total package at second base, and just so sad to lose him at such a young age.
You know
so
what?
sad.
One of his lasting legacies, I believe, will be, though, is the name Ryan. Not
yeah.
Ryan, but
Not
Ryan.
Ryan.
In fact, I was working last night with one of our guys in the control room, Ryan, at Channel 10, and he goes, "Oh, I am named after Ryan Sandberg. My parents added an extra N. He's Rynne, but not Ryan. Ryan.
Ryan, you see a lot of Ryans come around, man, and that's because of him. And
I didn't know any others. I had never heard of one growing up until I saw Ryan Sandberg, and it wasn't Ryan. It was Ryan.
There's a couple in the big leagues. I thought.
Now there is Ryan Nelson. Now is in the
Ryan
big leagues.
Nelson. Yeah, 100%.
I would think a lot of those date back to parents watching games on WGN and seeing Ryan Sandberg and thinking, "Oh, it's kind of a cool name. It's a little different. It's not Ryan. It's different. It's Ryan."
Ryan Sandberg, he's got his number 23 retired by the Cubs. He's in the Cubs Hall of Fame. He's in the MLB the Baseball Hall of Fame. 10-time All-Star. He was an MVP, 9 straight Gold Glove awards from 83 to 91.
Total package, man.
He also has his
package.
own game, the Sandberg game, as it's named. 1984, during that season when the Cubs and Padres would eventually meet, they call it the Sandberg game. Hit 2 home runs in the 9th and 10th inning, both off of Hall of Fame reliever Bruce Sutter to win the game 12 to 11 and help them propel them to the title that year. So,
well, there's only one way you can do it on this show, and it starts right now.
And I really hope we can see more unity and more peace when already things are so difficult. So, shout out to his family.
Shout out to his family, indeed.
The
Gentlemen,
great Ryan Sandberg. Yep.
Yeah. Gentlemen, we will move on. No real story here, but I do have some funny audio. I heard this live during the broadcast last night, and I also had several people reach out and make sure that I caught this audio. If you were watching the Padres broadcast on TV last night, it was in the bottom of the second, I believe, and the guys were talking about tonight's giveaway. I don't know if you guys have heard about these beach towels. They're sandless beach towels.
Did you take yours with you to Hawaii, Woods?
That's a good question. I did not pack it. I don't know if my wife did or not, but I did ask her. I said, "You want this, right?" She goes, "Oh, yeah, of
you
course."
Stole it. Ben wanted it so
did.
bad, and you stole it specifically for Hawaii, and you didn't even pack it.
For all his beach days that he has in the future. I'm assuming it's here. Listen, I did not lord over what she packed like she lorded over what I packed. So I'm not sure if it's here or not.
Oh, well, here is the audio from yesterday's broadcast. Tell me if you can figure out why we decided to clip this.
Oh, yeah. Be the coolest cat at the beach.
Great item.
It is. It repels sand.
No sand. Never any sand on this towel.
You know what else is great? It's so long and big, Donnie.
It's very large.
You could lay this out, right? And you and your friend or loved one or kids or whatever. Or dog could sit on each side and enjoy the sand.
All right, now shorten it to what you really want to keep that for, Paulie.
This is great. It's so long and big, Donnie.
It's very large.
Yeah, we'll keep that forever. The just more lore from Mud and Don on the broadcast about the beach towel. Those dudes never disappoint. So
long and big, Donnie.
Big.
It's very large.
And Donnie plays right into it.
He
plays right in. Yeah, very large.
Very large. That's exactly
So
what he's
good.
doing.
So good. Yeah, well, listen, it's if for nothing else, we have a new drop for next year's Tournament of Drops.
Oh, 100%. And then finally, can we talk about toes right now? Is that okay?
I love feet, so I'm all in.
Well, we can talk about feet and toes.
Big foot guy.
You may have seen it by now. A couple of days ago, there was a post going viral across social media of LaMelo Ball and his new tattoo. The post was from LaMelo Ball's tattoo artist here in California. And I got to say, it's in the running. It's on the Mount Rushmore of worst tattoos ever. I realize it's visual. I can put it up on the stream here if you're watching on YouTube, but basically he got Cheetos. He had his
toes. I get it.
The bottom half of his feet
tattooed,
well, I guess the top, whatever.
The top of his foot,
like from the toes to like the middle part of your foot, look like flames, like flaming hot Cheetos. And his tattoo artist put it out on his Instagram story. Said gave @Mello the hot Cheetos. And of course, the internet goes insane. Like, what are you doing? That's up there for like the worst tattoo of all time. Now, the update to the story is you should probably just make it a habit. If anything goes viral, if everything's getting like shared around on the internet, double or triple check that it actually happened. Because while these toes were tattooed like hot Cheetos, it's actually not LaMelo Ball's foot. His tattoo artists, they came out and they said, I believe yesterday, it was just a troll. Like that was somebody else.
But somebody actually got it.
Yeah,
like somebody out there is walking around with hot Cheeto toes, Cheetos.
They said it's not LaMelo. We were just trolling. The internet's crazy. We had no idea it was going to go so viral. I'm like, really?
Didn't you? That's your first day on the internet?
Yeah, an NBA player.
First day.
Like, come on. So I guess just be aware of anything that's going viral.
I mean, Cheetos
like
are kind of toe shaped anyway, so they should have made them look
more
orange and dusty. The toes.
Yes.
So they would be the actual Cheetos sticking off your feet.
Look, I know they're not good for me, but I am a huge Cheeto fan. No, I do not like the Flamin' Hots, but I do like the regular original Cheetos. And I
like
one of the worst
Cheez-Its
things.
better than Cheetos.
I like Cheez-Its too, but you're talking crackers and chips.
Totally different. Yeah,
no, I know they're different.
Yeah,
I mean they are covered in cheese dust as well, though.
It's like I like boobs. I like boobs and I like cheesecake. I mean, it's completely completely different. I like them all. But hey, look, it happens to the best of them.
You caught a fake story yesterday, though. Yeah.
Oh my God.
I was on the plane.
The disappointment that I had that this story was not true.
I almost I caught myself, man, and I almost retweeted it and said, this is absolutely insane. And I couldn't believe it. I saw this tweet, and I'm so glad I went and dug a little bit. It was from Pavs After Dark. And they said, Carson Whisenhunt is making his MLB debut tonight, but don't tell his parents. The San Francisco Giants accidentally flew right-handed pitcher Carson Ragsdale's parents to Oracle Field instead. Ragsdale was DFA'd an hour ago. Buster Posey is trying to find Ragsdale's parents in the stands to explain. And that is a fake story made up for our entertainment. And I would have gone to the air today for our first Don't Do This story and said, I can't believe what the San Francisco Giants, how do you drop the ball on something this huge? And, well, yeah, it's fake. It's fake. Just doing bits. And remember, guys, this is trade season. And that's not a trade. It is a transaction. But during trade season, you better double, triple, quadruple check everything.
Jeff Pawson is not an MLB insider, okay? Just be clear about that.
Jeff Pawson is, make sure it's real. I've gotten a couple of texts this morning about some rumor mill stuff going on. Haven't confirmed any of it, probably won't confirm any of it. A lot of it has to do with the San Diego Padres. And, listen, if some of this stuff comes to fruition, could be very interesting. But I'm not going to waste everybody's time with it because it's not confirmed.
All right, that is a Rhinel Report. We've got Hart tickets to give away coming up. Plus, we've got actually double sports action tonight here in San Diego. We can talk about that coming up as well. After a quick timeout, Ben and Woods continuing next year on 97.3 The Fan.
But first, listen, when I go, Travelgeddon's been happening. I've been traveling a lot in the month of July. And, of course, I miss my Eco Water. Of course I do. My Eco Water, we drink gallons of it every single day. And if you are interested in getting the Eco Water system put into your home, I highly recommend it. I've got 3 people, my Ohana, in the other room that would absolutely give you their double thumbs up endorsement on Eco Water SoCal. They have, they've really changed the game. Reverse osmosis system. You get bottled quality water straight from your tap. And it's not just the fact that it tastes good. It's much, much better for you. Have them come out, do a free in-home water test today. You'll be amazed at what you find. The water that you're bathing in, the water that's wrecking your pipes, the green stuff around your shower, that's hard water. Get Eco Water, get it put in your home, And you will be so happy that you did. Try the Soft Life and alkaline water for now just $9.95 a month. Call 760-350-3338 or visit ecowatersocal.com. Let them know Woodsy sent you all the way from Hawaii. I'm recommending EcoWater. Not everything in life should be hard, especially your water. Keeping it soft since 1925. EcoWater, your water should be perfect.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
Unless you happen to be in the Hawaiian Islands, it's going to be a very late start tonight for SDFC as they open Leagues Cup play at Snapdragon Stadium at 8 p.m. tonight against FC Pachuca in the first game of the tournament that they're playing. Do you have any questions? Do you need me to Ben-splain the Leagues Cup at all for you, Woods?
No, I thought Darren Smith did a really good job at doing that on Friday. So I think I'm good there. That game will start at 5 p.m. here. Padres are on at 6:40. That game will start at 3:40 here, which is just a delight. I mean, it is just a delight.
But are you ready for tomorrow when the game starts at 10:10 a.m.?
That will be 7:10. Are we off early or no? No, we're not.
No. You yeah, the show doesn't even end until 7:00 a.m. your time.
I don't know. I'm all jacked up with the time, but no, I love the early starts here. It's great. You can have dinner and watch the game. We have dinner early here. We have dinner early at home. But yeah, we're going to play a little golf today. Then we're going to do a family beach day. My brother's here with his kids, so excited about that. Going to hit this restaurant, the Dolphin, for dinner. It's the best. And then watch the game and crash out early and get up at 2:30 in the morning again and be with you boys.
And we had one more story from yesterday that we planned to get your take on. We haven't talked about the Emmanuel Clase betting story from yesterday. It happened like right at the end of our show yesterday. We were on the air at the golf course. And we're like, whoa. Big story here. And, I was thinking about it and then watching like last night's game. Robert Suarez, blew the save, but picked up the dub. Like, what does that, if Class A, I don't even know. I really don't know the rules. Like, are you untradeable when you're on the disciplinary list or the whatever they call it, the non-paid list? I have no idea if he's even tradable. But now, doesn't that make Suarez like the number one relief option potentially on the market?
Yeah, I'd say so. And, as far as this gambling stuff goes, I mean, I think it's the tip of the iceberg right now. And I don't necessarily I have seen a lot of strong takes, and everyone has made the same joke over and over. This suspension is brought to you by DraftKings or whatever. We've seen it. I am of the opinion that we as a nation are lacking in accountability a lot of the times, and I think every single player that puts on a uniform, they absolutely know the rules. The rule is posted in every clubhouse. We all know that story. I think if these guys got into that, that's on them. I don't think it's on BetMGM. I don't think it's on DraftKings. I don't think it's on Prize Picks. Or Underdog. I really don't. I think it's a matter of personal responsibility. I haven't shared this yet, but I stopped betting on games. I stopped. I don't bet on games anymore. I haven't made a bet on a game in 6 weeks. And the reason is, because it wasn't fun anymore. I'm betting on games I wasn't even watching, and I was like, "This is kind of dumb." And in a matter of like, "Hey, I'm taking some big trips. I need to tighten the belt a little bit too. What's a good way to not spend any money?" And I'm not taking some moral high ground here. I don't. I think everybody has free will to do what they want, but when it starts leaking into the game, and let's be honest, man, it's always been there. It's always been there. Now, when it does feel hypocritical when they're saying you can't do this, but they've posted that rule. Everybody knows that rule. They know that they can't do it, and yet some guys are still going to do it.
So I remember back at fantasy camp when we were at the Padres spring training facility. I was sitting in front of my locker one morning and I wanted to play like Underdog or something because
wouldn't let you
or BetMGM. Like we were able to gamble in the Arizona state lines. So I was able to use an app that I couldn't use here in California. I wanted to like check it out. It literally would not let me the
Wi-Fi.
The Wi-Fi like blocks any sort
of
gambling websites. And it's like, it's not even hey, are you sure you want to visit this website? It's like, you can't use this. You cannot use this app. You cannot visit this website. So like that alone should send a message to any player in any organization. And then to like go, all right, I'm going to still like double down betting term there. I'm so into I want to do this so badly that I will find a VPN. I will find my way around it. It's like, man, you are just playing with fire right there.
I guess I saw the arguments, Major League Baseball got into bed with these gambling companies. What did they expect was going to happen? You kind of said the same thing, Woods. And, my brain takes me, okay, like what would happen if they aren't, let's say they don't accept any DraftKings ads. So now players can't play. I mean, I don't see where I don't go see where one leads to the other. Players can choose to follow the rules or not follow the rules. There's no difference whether MLB has a partnership or not with Prize Picks or DraftKings or whatever in terms. If you want to say that gambling is an ill on society and should just be banned, I am willing to listen to that argument. But if you're going to argue that, then alcohol should also be banned. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, alcohol does much more damage to lives even than gambling does. Both do, and we can live in that society where you just can't. You're just not allowed to do anything that's potentially addictive or bad for you. But as long as we live in a society where you get to make your own choices and decide whether or not you get to have a beer after work or a cocktail before dinner, and if you want to put a few bucks on a game, if you want to bet responsibly, you can. Then there's no difference between the two. And I'm okay with it, but you have to know yourself and you have to know your limits and you have to know that, hey, I can't handle this, so I better not do it. Otherwise, then we just don't let anybody do anything. But that's a different society then. So, I mean, that's kind of my 2 cents on it.
Yeah, I mean, again, the rule's there. It's there for a reason. If in fact, he is guilty, that's tough, man. It's a blight. It's a blight on the game, as it always is when a guy gets popped for doing something he shouldn't do. It doesn't change much for me as far as where they're getting their money. It's big business at the end of the day. But there are rules in big business, and if he broke them, it's tough. It's tough for the Guardians. Very, very tough look for them, and to have 2 guys under investigation right now.
As for the trade possibilities, I mean, Helsley's still out there. Duran could be traded by the Twins. So there are other closer and top relief options other than Suarez. But
Twins, they shipped off old friend Chris Paddock. He's in Detroit
They did,
now.
and one of the relievers
Is that
as
official?
well. Yeah, that was made yesterday, I believe.
Crazy.
Is one of the moves. So, but, there certainly would be listening if there are teams interested in relief pitching about Robert Suarez. Again, that's a whole nother issue, though. The Padres would have to figure out how they would replace Robert Suarez, even if he's the most he's definitely the most logical guy to trade. If you're going to trade someone out of your bullpen, got to opt out at the end of the season. Got a lot of value from the saves, but you probably have 3 guys who, quite frankly, are performing a little bit better than he is.
Isn't
this
it the
season.
Same thing we've been talking about with Dylan Cease? Like you spent you had a whole segment talking about how like Vasquez, Bergert, and Kolek, like those guys step in.
Cease again is the most logical guy to trade. Going to be a free agent, not performing as well as the other guys. I think keep the guys who have done well and trade the guy who isn't doing quite as well.
I would say based on the same criteria there that Suarez is even more likely to be traded. Like you're going to get much more in return, I think, for Suarez than Cease.
I don't know. Starters tend to be more valuable than relievers, so who knows?
Like I said, every pitching coach looks at Dylan Cease and goes, "Yeah, I can work with that. I can figure it out.
Yeah.
Woods, enjoy your round of golf.
I will.
You may freely go and pick up your brother now and go
Thank you,
enjoy
boys.
while Paulie and I will preview tonight's matchup and what the Padres are facing against the New York Mets and wrap up the show on the other side.
I will be available via text, so please keep me abreast of any happenings or goings on. I'm not unplugging completely. I love you guys. Thanks for picking me up here, as you always do, and I'll talk to you guys in the morning.
As Woodsy goes, he would also like to give away
I love you guys, Ben.
I love you too.
Thank you.
I heart you.
Jeez, come on, man.
And you're going to give away some heart tickets before you go as well. Can you do that for everybody?
Let me go crazy on
That's
you.
my favorite heart song also.
Kicks ass, dude.
Yeah, for sure.
Hannah, I think I need Hannah to go crazy on me later. It's a little tired from the trip, but we'll see how tonight shapes up. Love you guys.
If you want to win tickets to see Hart at Pechanga Arena, call now. 6th caller is going to win a pair. It's August 13th at Pechanga, 833-288-0973. Limited tickets remain at AXS.com, access.com, but call now, 833-288-0973. Give away that pair of tickets to Hart at Pechanga Arena in just a couple of weeks. And, we'll come back. What the Padres are facing, the matchup for tonight, and more as we wrap things up on a Tuesday on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
Congratulations to Martin, who won the tickets to Heart. I believe we're going to be giving those away all week. I'm going to try to give them away a little earlier tomorrow. So if you didn't win them today, listen in the first hour of the program tomorrow, and we'll try to give some early Tier 1s an opportunity to win some Heart tickets at Pechanga Arena. I got a few minutes left. Want to look ahead to tonight's matchup, Game 2 of the series against the New York Mets here, and we will do so right after our last check of traffic on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Just a few things to mention here. Crash the clearing stage, West 52, just past Mast Boulevard. Also an accident northbound 805 past Nobel. That too is in the clearing stage. Over to the right shoulder. North 5 coastline before Del Mar Heights Road. Reports of some debris in middle lanes. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
All right, Game 2 of the series tonight. Padres going for their 4th win in a row, which would be 4 wins in a row, right on the heels of 4 losses in a row, completely, hopefully offsetting the 4-game losing streak that had us getting a little nervous there for the Padres a few days ago. Sure would feel good to get it all erased in the span of 4 days, but going to be a tougher matchup, I think, tonight for the San Diego Padres for 2 reasons. First of all, they're going up against a tough lefty, and those have generally given them some problems this year. And more importantly, they're going up against a former Padre, which for whatever reason has always been, like in franchise history, seemingly the kryptonite for the San Diego Padres, whether it's pitchers or hitters. Yeah, they leave. They may be mediocre. They may be bad other places, but when they go up against their former team, generally they perform quite well. And it'll be Sean Manaea on the mound, returning to Petco Park tonight in Game 2 of the series. And Ryan Burgert for the San Diego Padres should be activated with a corresponding move before the game today. Not sure if that means like Ron Marinaccio is back on the plane to El Paso, or if they'll pick somebody else, but they will have to make a move to activate Ryan Burgert before the game today. Now that is not quite where they were on in terms of their starting rotation. This would have been Yu Darvish's scheduled day to start if they had just kept going straight through from the road trip. but he is expected to start tomorrow's series finale just to get a little bit extra rest in between starts, and that'll push Nick Pivetta back a couple of days to give him a full week off between starts. And he's the guy who's probably had the least amount of time off. He's really made all of his starts. He went, he started right before the All-Star break, and then I think the third game after. So this would give him kind of a second little extra cushion to try to save some of his innings, because obviously he's going to be really valuable down the stretch.
Like 2 weeks in the last month, right? Off. Like that should help.
That should help a little bit. And Mike Schilt did say yesterday, this is not just about you, Darvish. This is about the kind of rotation as a whole and how they're trying to set things up. And I would assume Pivetta is part of it, and maybe wanting to get Ryan Bergert back up here is part of it as well. But part is, just making sure they don't overtax you, Darvish, with an every fifth day schedule too quickly as he comes back, and give him a little extra time before starting tomorrow.
I wonder, is there any possibility of like going to a 6-man rotation to kind of wrap up the year here, the regular season, and try to preserve any of those bullets for some of these guys that we haven't seen them do it over a full season? The Vasquez's, the Koleks, the Bergerts.
I think when Michael King comes back, there's absolutely a case to be made. If you, Darvish, stays healthy, looks better obviously than he did last time. But if he gives you a couple of solid outings and you've got Pivetta, King, and Darvish, now whether or not you trade Dylan Cease, if you trade him, I'd imagine you're adding a veteran starting pitcher from somewhere else,
right?
Rental, from somewhere else.
You almost have to, right?
And then you have the options of Bergert and Kolek. Perhaps Hart, but even if it was just Bergert and Kolek, that would give you enough for a 6-man rotation, at least temporarily, down the stretch. And you always have that schedule behind you on the wall. I mean, what's the off day schedule look like for the couple of months? They have the next couple of Thursdays off, I believe. So, and then I think they have a bit of a longer stretch where maybe you would want to go to 6 games.
They go off day this Thursday, off day next Thursday, off day the following Thursday, then a full week of games, and then the final Thursday of the month of August. So and then first Thursday in September. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the next 6 Thursdays.
Yeah, I mean that would mean like full weeks off for every starter. I would think that the games against the Dodgers and Giants, they're going to want to look at the matchups and have their best pitchers going as often as possible. So they may tweak in there, like add someone just to make sure like Pivetta bounces 3 times maybe in those games as opposed to 2. I would think there'd be some planning going on there in terms of the starting rotation. So they do have some flexibility. Whether they keep Dylan Cease or not, if Michael King comes back, that will give them options in how they want to use their starting rotation going forward. Meanwhile, a couple of new rumors, or not new rumors really, but just kind of continued rumors. Dennis Lynn, our Linsider in The Athletic this morning, writing, as of late Monday, President of Baseball Operations A.J. Preller still seemed to be aiming high. League sources said the Padres remain among the teams in pursuit of Cleveland Guardians outfielder Stephen Kwan. Stephen Kwan, it would be a very interesting target for the Padres. Clearly, be a huge upgrade in the Padres lineup.
Oh, yeah.
He's also the most Luis Arraez-like player in baseball, which would give you 2 essentially Luis Arraez's. Now, Kwan actually, in some respects, is more valuable in terms of like overall WAR. In fact, he's close to, I think, Eugenio Suarez in overall WAR. So he's a very versatile, valuable player, who hits well and would certainly upgrade your lineup. But he's also going to be pricey. He's got 2 more years of control. So Cleveland's going to want to ask a lot for a player like Stephen Kwan, and you're adding to what is already kind of the signature with your lineup if you're going in that direction. Contact guys, line drive hitters, singles hitters, but he's not going to give you power. He's not adding the slug that you're missing. Meanwhile, Dennis writes, despite reports that the Boston Red Sox have taken Jarren Duran off the market, the Padres continue to express interest in the longtime target. Preller, famous for his exhaustiveness, was also said to be considering such commodities as high-end relief and starting pitching depth. So AJ essentially has been told, according to these reports, by Craig Breslow, that they are not trading Jarren Duran, and yet he calls
back 3 hours later,
calling and saying,
"Are you sure?
Sure?" I mean, what about this? No, AJ, we're not trading him. Well, I mean, think it over.
Everyone's got a price.
I'll call you again in the morning, see if you've changed your mind. AJ, we're not trading Jaron. I know, but I really,
AJ,
really
I will
want
block
him.
this number.
I really do want him. So,
Morning, guys.
is there just a chance perhaps you, well, why don't you just think it over? Like, take your time. I mean, I'll give you a call back in 2 hours and we'll chat again. And maybe we can talk about Jaron Durant again.
What's the latest on Luis Robert? He left a game. He was hurt. He
had a home run on Sunday, I'm pretty sure. Did
he come back and hit one?
I think he did.
Okay.
So I think he is
still available, still on the market.
Actually, like more teams are starting to get interested in him. I saw the Dodgers might be interested in Luis Robert. Of
course.
A couple of other
Why
teams
not?
now. His price tag's probably going up just because he's been a little hotter in the last month, which is good for the White Sox. If they're trying to trade him, they're going to get a better price for him, and bad for the Padres, who probably could have had him for next to nothing a month ago when he was the worst player in baseball, but all of a sudden might have competition for his services as well. So we will continue to hear these rumors for the next 51 hours or so until the MLB trade deadline hits on Thursday. I'm 100%. I mean, you can never be 100% of sure of anything in baseball.
Right.
I'm as close to 100% sure as I can be that the Padres will make a trade and add a bat or more before the trade deadline. I think absolute
Just have no
minimum,
idea what it's going to look like.
Absolute minimum, they add a bat where you go, yeah, all right, that's fine. Someone better
was the right
add to
price.
the lineup.
Yeah.
That's the minimum. And of course, when it's AJ Preller, the maximum is like, oh my God, what did you just do? I can't believe that you pulled that off. So we're
How did he do
somewhere
that?
between. All right, there's a bat that definitely helps the Padres' depth, and stick him in the lineup. That might be helpful. Didn't cost too much to. Wow, you just remade your entire organization in the last 16 minutes before the trade deadline,
And somehow the farm system looks pretty good for next year.
Yeah, you made the farm system better somehow.
farm
You
system.
traded farm system.
Okay,
traded 9 players off your big league roster. You added 8 other players. I mean, like 2020. Remember? I mean, you literally traded a quarter of the team.
Yeah,
right before the trade
complete
deadline.
turnover of the roster. Yeah, that was the August 31st trade deadline.
Yeah, that was I don't expect that insane, but with AJ, you can never really count anything out. So those are the latest rumors that are floating around, and you'll hear more rumors over the next couple of days. And
I still think
AJ will call 10 more times on Jaron Durant, even though he said, I'm not listening anymore. Not listening.
I just have a feeling that AJ is going to pull something out of his hat that nobody considered, nobody thought about, because I keep thinking about it. I was telling you, I talked about it last week. I was talking to some buddies, and one of my friends goes, when was the last time outside of Soto that there was so much smoke between AJ Preller and a player on another team, and he actually went and got him? That hasn't happened very often. You hear the connections, the rumors are always going, but really, who was the last player outside of Soto that was like, oh, Preller has been wanting him for years. Preller's going to get him if it kills him. He's got to have this guy. It happens every year. Those trades never actually end up happening.
That's true. There's so many players that have been rumored. I mean, we talking about Cedric Mullins 3 months ago. He's still on the Orioles. I mean, they will be trading at least an outfielder or two, I would imagine. Laureano, O'Hearn. I mean, they're all kind of being talked about. I don't know if they'll be Padres or not, but these moves will be made. AJ will be involved in some of them, as we go forward. And at this point, at least we know by Thursday afternoon, it'll be done. And we don't have to wonder anymore what the Padres are going to look like going forward. We'll know.
I'm very much ready
Mike
for the
Schilt
trade
can
deadline.
Start filling out his lineup accordingly for the last 2 months of the season. And hopefully he'll add a little bit depth where he can, push Gavin Sheets down a little bit. Even if he does have the catchers, you'll look pretty good 1 through 8. That's the ideal outcome here at the end of the week. All right, that's it. We're done. All right, Woodsy off to the golf course. He will be back, though. 3 a.m. Hawaii time tomorrow, 6 a.m. here on the west coast of Southern California. For Paul Rhinel, I'm Ben Higgins. Braden Soprenet coming up next here on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. So long, everybody.